talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Supporting van owners to get the job done. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
Good afternoon, I'm Max Scott here with your sports headlines. Joseph Parker's promoters confirmed the former heavyweight champion failed a drugs test for cocaine on the day he lost to Fabio Wardley. According to The Sun, Parker was tested by the Voluntary Anti-Doping Agency on October 25th. Here's talkSPORT's boxing expert Adam Catterall.
The first test is the A sample. Joseph Parker has the right to have the B sample open. For people that don't know too much about that, it is basically the same urine, just in two different pots to try and prevent contamination. That is a possibility at this particular stage.
Parker could get a 2-year ban from the sport if found guilty. Now, Thomas Tuchel's satisfied Phil Foden can play up front for England after impressing in their 2-0 win against Serbia. Foden came off the bench to set up Eze for England's second, but Stuart Pearce is not convinced these are his biggest concerns ahead of next summer.
Losing Rice for any reason and losing Kane for any reason, they are real problems for England. And if that happens, they've got to be talking about what is the scenario and the best scenario for us.
Pearce reckons Bellingham will start in Albania. That game's live on talkSPORT Sunday afternoon. Elsewhere for England, the injured Mark Gahey will not travel with the squad for their final qualifier and will return to Palace to continue his rehab on that foot injury. And has under pressure Ollie Pope finally locked in his place at number 3 in England's Ashes batting lineup? Well, we spoke to Zach Crawley after Pope's century in the warm-up game.
Yeah, he played brilliantly today. And yeah, he looks in great touch. He has done all week, to be honest. And yeah, he looks very focused and in a really good place for his game. So yeah, it looks good.
There's more Ashes build-up on talkSPORT's cricket YouTube channel.
talkSPORT News.
The Chancellor's ditched plans to break a manifesto promise and hike income tax in this month's budget, and there are calls for the Prime Minister to speak to Donald Trump directly to tell him not to sue the BBC for $1 billion. More with Amelia at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit, where we've got more premium tyres than the number of times you'll hear, "Ooh, it's a bit nippy this winter." Book today at quickfit.com.
Storm Claudia is bringing heavy rain across England and Wales and strong winds in the west for Northern Ireland and Scotland, brighter and colder with sunny spells and showers.
This is going to be a bloodbath.
It's one of the fights of the year.
Eubank, I can't wait to smash your head in.
That's why he didn't beat me, and that's why he shall not beat me in November.
This is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with you through until 4 here on talkSPORT, where this afternoon, please tell us, Andy, what's coming up?
Well, coming up over the next 3 hours, Stan Collymore on Bellingham, bomb squads and Bukayo Saka. Sam Delaney relives his day of living like Haaland. And Danny Kelly joins us to celebrate Ronaldo's red card. Ireland's victory against Portugal.
Yeah, that's it. That's obviously what he's here to celebrate. We'll also have more of Andy's nonsense by numbers. England's Henry Slade looks ahead to tomorrow's game against the All Blacks. And Manchester United supporting comedian Shane Todd pops into the studio.
There's all this plus clips of the week. We're at the Ben Eubank weigh-in and NBA star smudgy hair dye in Todd McLin's American Sports Roundup.
Yeah, NBA stars smudgy hair dye, or not, as the case may be, as we'll discover later on with Todd. But it's all 5 minutes past 1. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Andy.
Good afternoon, Paul. And we're talking a lot about the game with Stan, but did you notice just before half-time there was someone with a whistle in the crowd? And they blew for half-time.
And your man over the PA said, well, the half-time score And he started to give the half-time score because he was completely thrown by it.
I was thinking, was it an old ref in the crowd that couldn't taking his whistle to the game?
An old ref?
He's sitting there and you think, I miss it. And he's got red and yellow cards in his pocket.
Do you think ex-referees go along to... If you're an ex-lino...
Yeah, with a flag.
Yeah, like, you go along... Do you take your flag along? And if you try and make sure you just try and run up and down the terraces... You could do that at non-league, couldn't you?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. No, it's a bit excessive, I think. I think it was just someone... creating a bit of mischief.
And do you see Donald Trump is expected to pardon Joe Lewis?
Yes, not the boxer.
No, the
pointless
former owner of Spurs.
Yes.
Probably still owner of Spurs, really, if you know what I mean.
Oh, no.
No.
I'm no accountant, but apparently not. But
he's pardoning for not wasting the bail money.
Yes, that's right. Well, you could get 5 years for wasting the bail money, barring, of course, Christian Eriksen.
And honestly, some of the, I know I shouldn't judge it, but some of the letters to the Daily Star are truly staggering.
Yeah, but I mean, with respect to the Daily Star,
people who live in Britain.
I mean, with respect to the Daily Star, how low is the bar that you have? I mean, how high is the bar that you have set for letters to the Daily? It's not. I've told you before. It is not the New York Review of Books, is it? I know. If you're writing to the Daily Star.
Hugo M. wrote this morning. He said,
"Oh, Hugo's quite a posh old name, isn't it?
Really,
yeah.
Totally agree that it's time David Attenborough retired. He's probably done more damage to the environment with his globetrotting than any other presenter.
He flies to all the venues.
He doesn't even go there anymore. He just sits in the studio doing it.
Yeah.
And even so, I mean, I can't think of anybody that's done more to highlight the problem rather than cause the problem.
You've had a bit of a shave up and you're going back goatee, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're looking a bit like Gat today. You've gone the full.
Not really a compliment.
You've gone the
just
full.
Saw a picture of him this morning.
Former England skipper Mike Gatting. You've gone the full Gat.
Yeah, I'm going for an all-you-can-eat Chinese later.
Yeah. Maybe we should ask the listeners, well, when you somebody said, has anybody ever told you look like? Or you're looking a bit like.
Yeah.
And it completely blindsided.
Especially if it's not very complimentary.
You'd never
no disrespect, Gat.
No, you'd never seen it before, and you'd never really thought about it before. But someone says, has anybody ever told you remind me of? Maybe we'll have a few of those today as it's a Friday. Talksport.com, text 1889. Tweet to TSH and J 03717223344. We'll have some of Andy's nonsense by numbers a little bit later on, his many cuttings that he compiles. The game, we're going to get Stan on in a minute and have a good chat about the game. But there was a little period really after we scored the first goal when suddenly the birthday spread a WhatsApp group came alive.
Yeah, it did a bit.
And I did point out this game is not massively holding our attention, is it? Certainly the latter stages of the first half. But as soon as the subs came on, it really gave it a new lease of life, didn't it? It did make a massive difference. And it kind of feeds into what Tuchel's been saying about competition.
Hard, though. There's nothing, they're qualified. There's nothing they're going to win.
But they're playing for places.
That's what it's about.
Yeah,
it's about that.
And you could see the urgency in the boys who came on. So from that point of view, it was good. But Stan will be
a useful second battalion, isn't it?
Yeah. So, okay, that's nice. Yeah, Stan will be telling us a bit more about that very shortly. Anything else you've noticed?
Yes.
What about Mousel? AFC Mousel or Mousel AFC? They had a royal visit yesterday from Neil Warnock. And he was he had
not a royal visit.
No, I'm joking. He had Prince William with him, of course. The Prince of Wales went along.
Not the plumber.
No, that's right. William Prince. You might get Bill Prince Plumbing. Bill Prince Plumbing. You'd find
definitely.
that. But he went along to Mousel AFC because they were cut off by a cratered road just outside Penzance. And Wills went along to get local businesses to fix the potholes. And he couldn't come round my way, could he? We got a couple, almost like Journey to the Centre of the Earth. Honestly, you could lower yourself down with a rope.
No, apparently it's much better. It's not a problem.
Well, Alan Brazil has his own take on that, as you're discovering the clips of the week. But yeah, what about that? Neil Warnock. I love the Prince of Wales, me, Alan. I love royalty, me.
Me.
Yeah. I love the dissolution of the monasteries, me, Al. It'd be great, wouldn't it? It could go right through the card, yeah. Loved George III for me. Al, that'd be great. The British monarchs through the eyes of Neil Warnock.
Warnock's Monarchs.
Yeah, Warnock's Monarchs. Well, what a show that is.
It'd be tremendous.
Well, I love them, me. I love the Tudors, me. Love the Tudors.
Ali Ross was off this week, so I didn't send him this one from Mastermind earlier in the week.
Okay.
You definitely would have used it.
Mm-hmm.
It's The question was from Clive, what was the surname of the British boxer whose left hook became known in the press as Henry's hammer?
Yeah.
And the bloke went, Foreman. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Oh, Henry Foreman.
Henry Foreman, we all remember him.
Obviously not a boxing fan.
No, not really.
Now, on the subject of boxing, we'll be at the ceremonial weigh-in. Like the boys on Drive are coming live.
Is there a ceremonial?
Yeah.
Oh,
so we've had the belt and braces stuff earlier on, just to see if, because that was fairly controversial last time around. But we'll be hearing from the guys and everybody in and around the big fight. We bring you live tomorrow night between Eubank and Ben.
It's good if Eubank made the weight, because last time that was a problem, wasn't it?
Exactly. They're weighing at the York Hall. Andy Goldstein, Darren Bent coming live from that iconic boxing venue in Bethnal Green in East London a little bit later on. We're going to kick off, though, talking England.
Yeah.
Stan Collymore, former England-Liverpool Villa striker, is going to join us, give us his take on last night, any of the takeaways, what he made of the substitutions, whether he's Team Rodgers or Team Bellingham. But they both played pretty well last night, didn't they?
I'm Team Cole Palmer, I'm happy.
Oh, okay, you've added a third team to proceed.
Well, I think if he plays, if he comes back at the end of November and plays till the next, and plays well, he's got to be in there.
My mates always call me Plan B. Wasn't buying it till I was arguing with a boy on holiday who said, "You're all right, Plan B." That's fair enough. Paul, I was told I looked like Michael Bublé if he looked slightly different. Worked that one out. I had that one all those years ago, and I went to Stevie Nicholls' testimonial at Anfield, and I was walking in. There were some scally kids on a wall, called me and said, "Hey, Woolly back." So I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "You're Paul Warhurst." Had me down with, I said, I wish I had his money, I think the phrase was. Yeah. But anyway, sometimes you get a lookalike, you think, I don't look like that. Talksport.com, I said Andy's looking a bit like Gat today. Maybe we should do a comparison. Now you're growing the hair's short and you're growing the old goatee. It's the Gat goatee you've gone with.
He looks a bit younger though. I felt that shadow's looking a bit grey. I looked a bit grey and washed out.
A bit grey and washed out. Yeah, you did. You look really bad, actually. No, you didn't. Anyway, Stan Collymore joins us very shortly. We're here with our good friends at Toolstation. To get in touch this afternoon, talksport.com, text 1889, tweet TSH and J. 03717 223344. Don't miss Toolstation's unmissable deals. Great offers on hundreds of trade brands. Next stop, Toolstation.
This is going to be a bloodbath.
It's one of the fights of the year.
Eubank, I can't wait to smash your head in.
That's why he didn't beat me, and that's why he shall not beat me in November.
Come next summer, England will be there, talkSPORT will be there, but some of these players might not be.
We won, we kept the clean sheet.
Staying deflection, oh what a goal from Saka, that's a magnificent volley.
Yeah, another beautiful goal in the same end at Wembley, so yeah, I'm really happy with that strike.
14th goal for his country.
In general, good impact from the bench. Phil assisted, Ebb scored, beautiful goal, so tick the box.
Eza on the left, Saka on the right, Foden at 9 with Bellingham just off him.
It's the opportunity for 1 or 2 to impress.
Phil Foden. Here's Eza! That seals it. What are you expecting to be the general feeling of England supporters?
I couldn't think of a more perfect player to bring on in that position after 60 minutes, 70 minutes, who can play in different positions. I'm not saying start Eze, I'm saying but as a must on that play. I thought it was a decent performance. To be honest, I don't think it reached the heights that maybe we hit in Latvia and also Serbia away. We didn't make it look as easy tonight.
Another win, another clean sheet. Qualifying's easy, but Tuchel's job is to win the World Cup.
Yeah, not so easy.
There's going to be an awful lot of debate around who should be the starting 11. We've heard the manager say he thinks he's got 8 of his 11 starters already.
Yeah, I think last night, Prez, it doesn't really matter. Over the whole tournament, you can't just rely on 11 players. You need...
Absolutely. And I think the impact that the subs had and the intensity that it brought to the game is probably evidence of the fact that there are these competition for places and it's making a difference. Let's get the thoughts of someone who's been there and done it. Stan Collymore joins us. Hi, Stan.
Paul, Andy, how are you?
Yeah, we're not so bad. I mean, a lot of it last night will revolve around Morgan Rogers or Jude Bellingham. What's your feeling about that position and who's in control of the shirt currently, you think?
I think basically what Thomas Tuchel has done, and I think that what we all like is, despite the sort of slow burn start that he had, is the fact that he said to players, if you play and you play well, you keep the shirt. There was lots of clamour for Adam Wharton to play as the holding midfielder. He had a look at Elliot Anderson. He brought him in. He liked what he saw in training. He gave him the shirt, and I've absolutely no doubt that the Nottingham Forest holding midfielder will start the World Cup if he continues in the same vein. Conversely, if you remember, he had Ivan Toney back, had a look at him. There's a bit of a clamour, struggling for strikers beyond Kane and Watkins. Looked at him in training, didn't really even give him minutes and said, no thanks. So I like that a lot because players will be on tenterhooks as to whether they're going to be in the squad firstly, and then whether they're going to play. So the Morgan Rogers, Jude Bellingham thing is really interesting because he's effectively saying, if I can do this to arguably the biggest name in the group, you know, the most famous world-class player playing for the Galacticos of Real Madrid, Jude Bellingham, and I can put Morgan Rogers in there that was playing for Middlesbrough 18 months ago, then I can do it to anybody. And I like that tension. That's a good thing. Do I think that Jude Bellingham will start the first World Cup game? I do. I not necessarily think he should if Morgan Rogers is continuing to play well for Villa, Phil Foden likewise for Manchester City. But I think that area of the park now, Paul and Andy, I don't know what you think, that Elliot Anderson, Declan Rice shoved a little bit further forward, and Jude Bellingham, Morgan Rogers or Phil Foden are the likely options in terms of the midfield. The worry for me is, if I'm looking at it and somebody said, go and look at England and look at potential weaknesses if they're playing in, Dallas, or if they're playing at altitude, where are the weaknesses in the team? And I would still say down England's left. I think we've tried half a dozen left backs. Nico O'Reilly did very well last night, by the way. Give him a sort of solid 7.5 out of 10. But we've tried O'Reilly, Spence, Livramento. Lewis Skelly has obviously had a warning shot across his bows that he needs to play games. Rico Lewis as well. I think there's, for me, still down England's left. If you're putting Marcus Rashford as the sort of left-sided attacker, if you like, looks the weakest area of the pitch. So, as you've said, probably 7-8 players we know that are going to start. But if you're looking at a potential weakness that good teams would look to exploit, it's does England have enough time to have as much synergy down the left as they do down the right, with potentially Reece James or Trent Alexander-Arnold with a Bukayo Saka, for example?
Reece James played well last night. He's in good form, actually.
Down the left is interesting, though, further forward, because Anthony Gordon's not fit and couldn't play. He's done very well when he's playing for England. Rashford did well last night.
Did okay. His end product was a bit annoying.
It was. I mean, he had a few chances. He had shots blocked. So we've got options there as well. And, like, the depth. What about Cole Palmer? We keep forgetting. When he's on it, he is such a tremendous player. So where is he going to fit into all this?
Yeah, and he's obviously missed 11 games with that groin injury. Just got the sort of wires up in front of me, and Andy would know this, but hoping to be back by the end of the month, or certainly into December, Cole Palmer. So he's going to be playing himself into contention, because for Chelsea, he will score goals. A lot of Chelsea's creative intent goes through him. And if you think about some of his better performances for club and country, he drifts into the area where Phil Foden and Morgan Rogers and Jude Bellingham is. So I think with Palmer, you almost get sort of several players in one. He can play on the left, he can play on the right, and he can play as a 10. So I don't think Tuchel worries about him so much. But I think, again, it might well, for the discipline of the team, like you said to Phil Foden, it might be coming off the bench and adding that kind of creativity, inventiveness and goals, which, of course, is going to be needed late on in games.
Tell you what I found a bit surprising. England, not they haven't got, but they don't use a long throw specialist. I think that's going to be a useful weapon in the heat of the US. I think a lot of teams are going to use it. So
yeah, corners, set pieces, and it again. I just think to myself, what's the worst case scenario? And the worst case scenario is England are in a group where it's stinking hot. You think of, anywhere, Miami. You think even of you think, well, but potentially the easiest place to play would be the sort of northeast, the New York, but New York in summertime, New Jersey. Time.
Oh, it's boiling.
All those places can be stinking hot. But what we don't want to be is have 2 or 3 games where, in that central zone, a Dallas or Monterey, whereby it would be incredibly unrealistic, even with the youth that we've got in the squad, to have players playing anywhere near the kind of tempo and exertion that we would in the Premier League. So, Andy, you're absolutely right. You might find one. There'll be somebody in the squad, even if it's not, a Rory Delap Mark II. There'll be somebody that if we are to the right or the left of the 18-yard box, can get it as near as damn it. And again, then you're looking at corners and set pieces. Interestingly enough, with Jude Bellingham, usually good at defending and attacking set pieces, but going in Morgan Rogers' favour, Morgan Rogers is as well. So we've got players, not just, the classic central defenders or Harry Kane trundling up for a corner. We've now got options in midfield to be able to create havoc in the opponent's box from corners and set pieces as well.
We discovered last week, Stan, that Liam Delap has a mean long throw, but it goes back to a childhood trauma. His dad was explaining that he did it in a school game, and he sort of threw it into the box and they scored the winner, and all the parents were saying, "You're ruining it for everybody. That's not fair."
Oh no!
And his whole bottom lip went, Liam. He's only about 7. His dad was getting told off for teaching him long throws.
That's ridiculous.
And so look at they've got to hypnotise. Got to get Paul McKenna in and then get him lobbing the long throws back in.
If you look at Rory Delap's throwing technique, I mean, he was a bit of a freak in the fact that he could hyperextend his arms. I mean, that was the reality of the situation. But it'll be interesting, because obviously, if you're an avid fan of La Liga or the Bundesliga or Ligue 1, and I mentioned, I think it was last week or the week before to you, that the statistics have gone up in all of those leagues for set pieces, long throws. What we actually will see in the World Cup, and whether there will be a big difference between the European nations and a big difference between the South American nations that usually, wouldn't go into the more sort of perfunctory arts of football. So it could well be something that we see international teams take advantage of. Because a lot of players obviously playing the Premier League now, that may well be half a dozen nations, but I'm absolutely sure that you're not going to see, a Brazil or an Argentina or some of the teams that like to get the ball down and play, inviting that kind of, innovation in their game, because for them, particularly with the Brazilians, they'd see it as a slight, from the kickoff, sticking the ball in the corner, long throw either side of the 18-yard box. Set pieces. So if we can get an advantage from it, why not? Why not? It's going to be hot. It's going to be sticky. We're not going to be at full tilt every game. We've got a very strong bench, but absolutely, English football, I think many people have always said that one of the reasons why we haven't succeeded at international level is because we haven't had an accurate reflection of our game. We may well happen upon it this summer.
Just finally, Stan, and briefly if you can, Danny Welbeck, if I was him this morning, I'd be thinking, I've still got a chance. Before and after the game, Thomas Tuchel basically said, I've heard he's going to be a great tourist, he'll be a great player, be great backup for Harry, but I didn't think I'd learn anything. I think I know everything that he brings to the table. Sounds to me like he's still got a chance. What do you think?
Yeah, they've all got a chance. I mean, all the strikers that we've mentioned, previously, are going to be watched again by the scouting network. I just think if you've not been in a squad to date, you've got to do something pretty special between now and the end of the season to get in.
Nice one, Stan. We'll catch up with you next week.
Have a good one.
Good man, all the best. That's Stan Collymore there reflecting.
The only thing I'd add that's very interesting, that during the Club World Cup, I watched quite a lot of it because of Chelsea and everything.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that actually the football was quite intense. The heat, maybe they're so fit now, but the heat didn't affect them in the way that you'd imagine
it affected a few of them after the tournament.
Oh, yeah, no, it's affected them now, that's for sure. But,
Anyway, the latest episode of the talkSPORT Daily podcast is available now as former England captain Stuart Pearce joined Adrian Durham and Jim Proudfoot live from Wembley following England's 2-0 win over Serbia. The boys delve into how Thomas Tuchel finds a way to fit all of England's superstars into the starting 11, as well as the current lack of top strikers in the squad. Make sure to check out the talkSPORT Daily on all podcast platforms now. Henry Slade joining us for a chat. Exeter in England as the All Blacks, of course, we haven't beaten them since 2019 in the World Cup. Henry was part of that team, played in that game, and we'll catch up with him very, very shortly to preview tomorrow's match.
It's reported Joseph Parker failed a drug test for cocaine on the day he lost to Fabio Wardley. According to The Sun, Parker was tested on October 25th. talkSPORT's boxing expert Adam Catterall's told us Parker's B sample will now be checked in case of contamination.
There is a procedure to go through. As per the rules of the British Boxing Board of Control and UK Anti-Doping, I mean, Liam Cameron was on the back end of this. He tested positive for cocaine a few years ago, and he received a 4-year ban.
There's more on this story at talksport.com. Elsewhere today, Thomas Tuchel says he had the idea several months ago about Phil Foden playing up front for England. Foden replaced Harry Kane and set up Ezra's second in England's 2-0 win over Serbia last night. But talkSPORt's Stuart Pearce isn't convinced by Tuchel's idea.
You would think that Rashford or Bowen can play down the middle. They're more of a natural fit in my eyes than playing Foden there. You know, make no mistake, him and the coaching staff would have talked about all conundrums.
And the under-pressure Ollie Pope strengthened his grip on the England #3 spot ahead of the Ashes. He hit a century in England's warm-up game against the Lions. There's more Ashes build-up on talkSPORT's cricket YouTube channel.
With your business finance. Find out more at fundingcircle.com.
Time to look ahead to this weekend's autumn international action. With Funding Circle, here's talkSPORT's Alfie Reynolds of all you need to know ahead of England versus New Zealand on Saturday.
England's third game of the November internationals will undoubtedly be their toughest. The All Blacks in town, a team they haven't beaten since the 2019 World Cup semi-finals. So what sort of opportunity presents itself this weekend?
There's been some games where we could have. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So yeah, we're just going to look to put our best foot forward and see what we can do this weekend.
Well, that's the England captain Maro Itoje speaking to me at their training base in Surrey. George Ford will start for England at fly half. And as he's told me, there is a real excitement amongst the squad ahead of this game.
Yeah, it's the games you want to be part of, innit? A full Allianz Stadium, playing against the All Blacks. Hopefully we can give them plenty to cheer and get on the feet about, and it's when they get behind us, when the crowd get behind us and give us that extra lift we need at certain times of games. There's nothing better feeling than to do that at Allianz Stadium as an English player.
There we are, George Ford chatting to our own Alfie Reynolds, and they chatted there about that 2019 win. Part of the team that day, played half the game. Exeter and England's very own Henry Slade joins us now. Hi, Henry.
Hi, how you doing? All right?
Yeah, we're
thank
good.
you.
We'll come on to the game in a minute, but it is World Diabetes Day. You've been chatting about it today. You are type 1 diabetic. I was interested in the way you discovered that. It was by accident, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, it was. Me and my friend both had the flu one day. Turned out we both had diabetes, but he then came into school. I was unaware. He all happened a bit quick for him, and he had his finger prick test, and I just tested my blood on that, and turned out it was high. So headed to the doctors and found out I was about to get it as well.
I mean, it's great when sort of athletes talk about this. Back in my day, it was our own skipper, I'm a Spurs fan, Gary Mabbott, who was there and was very open about it and wanted to tell people that, it doesn't stop you leading a full life, operating at the highest level as an athlete. And I think that's your message as well, isn't it? Because you have to manage it, and it's not easy, but it is manageable.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the message I've tried to sort of get across the whole time. I've tried to push it throughout my career. Is no matter what you want to do, diabetes shouldn't stop you doing that. As long as you keep on top of your blood sugars, and get all your preparation right, and make sure you're in the right zone, then you're just as strong, just as quick as the next guy. So I've never let it stop me doing what I want to do. I've always tried to push that message to parents of young kids, or for anyone really with diabetes, that's the key message, really.
It's become a lot more sophisticated, the management of it. A mate of mine, I think, does the same thing as you, has a patch and a monitor through an app, and that's not always been the case. It's got a whole lot easier for him doing that. It probably has for you. Yeah,
definitely. That's been the biggest game changer, really. Ever since I started using my Dexcom G7, it was just a CGM which I wear on either my stomach or my arm. Has completely changed the game in terms of my control of my diabetes and my blood sugars. Whereas before, it was just finger prick tests, and you were getting sort of a snapshot of where it was. It could have been going up or could have been coming down. This sort of is a constant feed. It tells you where your blood sugars are, which direction they're going in, and has changed the game, like I said, in that respect, so much.
CGM, continuous glucose monitor.
Yeah, this is the one that my friend Tony's got on it. I'd say it's made a big difference to him, because often you'd be reacting to feeling a bit rough, and by that stage, I wouldn't say it's too late, but you're feeling rough. You'd rather know, if you're likely, you'd rather know what you've got to do and monitor it that way, wouldn't you? Yeah, exactly. That's why knowing which direction your blood sugars are going in is so important, because you could have taken a finger prick test and it had been okay, but not know that in 20 minutes time you'll be low or you'll be high. Whereas with the app, you can see where you're going to be in the future as well. Fantastic. Well, let's move on to tomorrow. So you were part of that team that won last time. All the games sort of subsequently have been pretty tight, haven't they? And
England have been ahead 3 times in the last 3 games and not won the game.
You'd sense it could be pretty tight tomorrow.
Yeah, I think recently, especially all the games against New Zealand have been very tight. So they're a top side and have been throughout the whole of sort of the history of the game, really. So they're one of the most renowned teams around. A lot of good players. We know it's going to be tough. We enjoy playing at Allianz Stadium in front of our home fans, so hopefully they can get us over the line. But it's going to be a tight one.
What was it about that game that you remember? So you played half the match against them in Yokohama. What was it about that performance that day, you think, that gave you the edge?
I think, I came on at, just after half-time at fullback, and I was sort of in the backfield for most of that second half, just watching in awe, really, of the front line and how well everyone was defending. The likes of Tom Curry, Sam Underhill, those boys playing tomorrow as well. To watch those boys, the way they defended, the way they were tackling and hitting people, and the whole line, really, the way they were getting up off the ground, the energy they showed, sort of the desire and the commitment to putting their bodies on the line for England and for the country was massive, and it's going to take nothing short of that again tomorrow.
There's been a lot made about the strength of the bench and the finishers and coming on last, but a lot of it seems to be a reaction to the fact that they lost these 3 games late to New Zealand.
I don't know. I think it's just an understanding that the game now is an 80-minute game, and you've got to be strong right the way across. So I think you can see that the strength and depth now with English rugby, we're able to field such a strong starting 15 and such a strong bench. I think it's going to take the full 23 to do the job, as it would most weeks, but especially this time against New Zealand.
I mean, calling someone, it's semantics really, but calling someone a finisher rather than a replacement. I mean, it does seem in rugby it has taken hold, and there is an understanding that you are going to come on, you are going to have an impact. The job you're doing off the bench is as important, because if, as the sports people, traditionally, you want to start, you want to be one of the first 11, first 15, first 13, that's what you really want. But is that still the case, whether it's finishers or not, Henry?
Well, there is an element of that, but I think there is now an understanding that the game is genuinely an 80-minute performance, and sometimes you're not on the bench because the coach feels you're a lesser player, it's because they want to finish very strongly, or they feel like your attributes can come to the fore when it's most needed. Maybe that's the start of the game, or it's needed at the end. So it's very much a team game. I think rugby is, as much as any sport I can think of, really is all about the team, and to have such a strong 23 like we're blessed with is going to be really important.
How did you deal with the haka? There's so much chat about it. Did it bother you? Did you like it? What did you feel about it?
I enjoy facing the haka. I mean, it's a challenge laid down by the All Blacks and New Zealand, isn't it? So it's a great part of the game. I feel like it gets both sides amped up for it, gets the crowd hyped up. It just makes for a good spectacle.
I mean, we've often thought of a British equivalent, but it'd be Morris dancing, which wouldn't have the same impact, would it? Even if you did a throat slit at the end, it wouldn't have a big impact.
It is amazing how much more elaborate it's become. When you look at it in the 70s, when you watch, it's a completely different thing. It's become much more.
I think it is great theatre. I know people say it's not fair, unfair advantage, because if you're on your opposing haka, face it down, they feed off of that. Ignore it, they feed off of that. So you can't win really if you're facing a haka, can you?
Well, I don't know, but I think as well the team facing the haka, it gives you energy as well. It gives you motivation. It's like I said, I think it's a good thing for the sport. It builds and adds drama for not just the players but for the fans. The stadium gets all hyped up. People at home, I imagine the same. So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Let's hope it's a good game. Good to talk to you, Henry. All the best. Thanks very much.
Cheers, lads. Thanks very much.
Take care. Henry Slade there, Exeter Chiefs centre and England player, of course. And we'll be kept right across that tomorrow afternoon by Adrian and the gang. I think is Adrian giving it to you tomorrow? Let's have a look, double check. What's going on Saturday? We must have it will be around the grounds, won't we? I'm sure, the lower leagues. Anyway, I'll find out later on. We're going to chat to Lee Wakeham. We've been meaning to do this for a while. I'm delighted to say we are chatting to him. He has got quite the story. Ex-con, who now supplies pasties and pies to, amongst others, Liverpool Football Club. He'll tell us his story in a few moments' time. We're here with our good friends at Toolstation. Check out Toolstation's unmissable deals. Great offers on hundreds of trade brands. Next stop, Toolstation.
Autumn Internationals preview on talkSPORT with Funding Circle. Proud sponsors of Prem Rugby. Find out more at fundingcircle.com.
Calendar versus Ben on talkSPORT.
Let's get ready to rumble!
This is insane! Never seen anything like this!
The winner by unanimous decision, Chris Eubank!
This is a moment in time that we will never forget.
And the final scene absolutely delivered.
We'll catch you next time.
Now, thanks to our friends at Virgin Atlantic, we're giving you Animate the chance to win the ultimate trip of a lifetime to, yeah, you probably guessed, Las Vegas. You'll kick things off in style with exclusive access to the Virgin Atlantic Clubhouse Heathrow, then flying upper-class comfort with lie-flat beds and premium service all the way to Vegas. Once you touch down, you'll check into a spa villa for 4 nights. Cheer from the stands as the LA Raiders take on at Kansas, and we're throwing in $5,000 to play with while you're there. Not so bad. So clear your calendar, 2nd of Jan to the 7th, 2026, because this could be the best start to the new year ever.
21 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text at £2 plus standard network rates. Bill payer's permission required. Or call 03434239761. Calls are charged at standard rate. All entries must be received by the 28th of November at 4 p.m. This is a network promotion. Run across talkSPORT, Virgin Radio UK and Talk. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
Paul Hawksbee, Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Still to come this afternoon. We've got the clips of the week for you. We'll also be joined by comedian Shane Todd and friend of the show, journalist, broadcaster Sam Delaney. Spent a day in the shoes of Erling Haaland. Lived the life that he told us about. Big diary shoes. And he took us through a day in his life, and Sam decided to emulate it despite being not quite as fit and twice his age. But anyway, he'll tell us how that went for him later on. But this is a lovely redemption tale with a bit of a sporting flavour, because our next guest, he has a business that supplies pasties, pies, sausage rolls to, amongst others, Liverpool Football Club. They're called HMP, in this case, HM Pasties. Lee Wakeham is the boss. He had a couple of spells inside by the time he was 23, and the odds seemed stacked against him. But a factory up in Manchester took him on, helped him turn his life around, and that's what he does now for other ex-offenders. Good afternoon, Lee.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, well, look,
thanks for having me on.
It's a great pleasure.
Story.
It is a great story, because there may have been a period in your life when you felt like there was nothing down for you, and you now employ boys and girls that are probably in that same situation.
That's the whole purpose of the business. You know, people often say to me, why pies and pasties? And it was never really about the pies and pasties. It was about finding a way to generate income in order to do the job that I wanted to do, which was working and mentoring with people leaving prison. And the only thing that I thought I could do pretty well, that I thought would be a good gap in the market, was making a good pasty, because I'm originally from the West Country. So started the business all around making traditional style pasties, and we've grown it now to making a range of pies and sausage rolls as well.
Was it hard to get that opportunity? It was a lighting factory in Manchester. Wasn't it hard to get that opportunity? Because ex-offenders do find it difficult to get back into the workplace, don't they?
I think it was the difference to me was where I was at. I'd had a lot of therapy whilst I was in prison, and came out of prison a very, very different person. So when I'm presenting to an employer, I'm presenting as someone who's stable. I was in a stable relationship, and life was good at that point. And I think it's I don't necessarily think the reason why people don't employ ex-offenders is because they've committed a crime. It's because of all the baggage that they think is going to come with that person. And I think if you present yourself as a person who hasn't got all that baggage, who's going to come to work, do a good job and go home at the end of the day, then I think there are job opportunities out there for people with criminal records. It's just that a lot of people who leave prison are still carrying a lot of that baggage around with them. And our purpose as a business is to help people transition from leaving prison, where they're still carrying a bit of that baggage, still lives are a bit chaotic outside of work, and help them along the journey that I had, really, and to the point where I was an acceptable employee.
How did you get into sort of supplying Liverpool? How did that come about?
A chance conversation, really. I knew a guy who worked at another football club. I think he was at Brighton and Hove Albion, and I rang him, and he said, well, I'm leaving, I'm going to Liverpool. And I said, well, can we have a conversation when you landed up there? And true to his word, he called me within a couple of weeks of getting the job at Liverpool. We'd already been supplying football clubs. We supply Stockport County, Warrington Wolves. So we had a proven track record of doing it. So it wasn't a complete stab in the dark for him. And yeah, they had a tasting session, our pies up against a number of other pies, and they chose us. So it isn't just about the fact that we employ ex-offenders that gives us the work. It's the fact that we also make a really, really good product.
Yeah, I mean, the product range is really extensive. I mean, looking on your website, it looks great.
You're very upfront, Lee, about the fact that you employ people with criminal convictions. You kind of put it across the top of your stands, your HMP pasty stands. So, I mean, they must strike up conversations. Customers must come up, and they're probably quite interested.
On a regular basis, I mean, we have a stand outside the Etihad Stadium, and you'll regularly see people coming up, taking selfies of themselves with it, and you can hear them on the phone to their friends. And some people think it's a joke. HM pasties, Her Majesty's pasties, or His Majesty's pasties as it is now. And you're like, well, it actually means handmade pasties, but it's a little play on words that I came up with a long time ago, but it certainly is a conversation starter.
You say that, there's still a bit of the chaos in the lives of some of the people you employ. I suppose it's a balancing act for you. You've got a business to run. Liverpool want their pies and pasties for Saturday afternoon. Yeah. So you've got to be part social worker, but you can't take over, can it? Because you've got a business to run.
Yeah, I mean, my original dream when I set the business up was to have 100% of the people we employed, people who were leaving prison. I soon realised the error of my ways. You can't build a business around people whose lives are chaos. So we've got a core group of people here that have been with us for a number of years now. They know what they're doing, and whether Joe Bloggs turns up on day of release from prison or not, we can still deliver the quality of the product and the quantity of the product that we need to keep our customers happy.
I mean, I don't know if you have the figures, Dan, but I imagine, people that can get back into employment and start to rebuild their lives are far less likely to re-offend. They're better people in society. They're better for, it's a brilliant thing, isn't it? I mean, it makes everybody's lives better.
Yeah, I think the stats, is 61% of people who leave prison in PAYE employment are less likely to re-offend in the first 12 months. Wow. And when you think re-offending rates, it costs us about £18 billion a year. It's good for everyone what we're doing, whether or not you believe in giving people the chance that we want to give people. We must all agree that it's better for us as a society if we're spending less than £18 billion a year on locking people up.
Exactly that. Well, Lee, keep doing what you're doing. Thank you very much for joining us. All the best for the future.
I'm a big fan of the show, so really appreciate it.
That's lovely to hear. Give our best to everybody there. Thanks very much.
Will do. Thanks, guys.
Lee Wakeham there from HMP.
Great.
Handmade pasties. But
they do catering, they do weddings, so he's really expanded the business.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Congratulations to him. It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Yeah, what's it like to walk for a day in the shoes of Erling Haaland, but obviously not on the same money? Sam Delaney will tell us later on. Danny Kelly joins us later on to celebrate Ronaldo's red card. Of course not, to celebrate Ireland beating Portugal last night, but obviously the first ever straight red for Cristiano. He could miss he probably will miss the first game of the World Cup. That's violent conduct. Unless, of course, Mr. Infantino gives us a president's pardon. They're all the rage at the moment. That's what I'm guessing will happen. We'll get the thoughts of Danny and what the feeling is over in Ireland today. And Shane Todd, comedian, actor, Manchester United fan, popping in to see us after the sports headlines.
Tyson Fury, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. Just hearing these names makes you think money and the hundreds of millions of dollars, pounds or Saudi riyals in boxing. But that's at the top. At the bottom, it isn't quite the same. Even for those on the rise, there's not an awful lot of cash in the boxing world. And if you're just starting out, well, it can be a very costly exercise indeed. But don't take my word for it. Here's the former European champion, talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver.
You're turning professional and you're boxing, let's say, York Hall on a non-televised fight. You have to sell tickets to earn any money, but you have to cover the wages of your opponent as well. So if you don't have the ability to be able to sell enough tickets, you effectively have to pay to fight.
A far cry then from Jake Paul facing Mike Tyson in 2024, when the purse was reported to be around £48 million. But the vast amounts of cash lining the top dog's pockets isn't the norm in a typical fight.
Let's say you're lucky and you get between 5 and 10 grand. You're going to get 10 grand max for that. 10% goes to the trainer, 25% goes to the manager. Then we've got the tax man to pay as well. So we're cutting that money in at least half. So now you've got 5 grand for a 10-week camp. So you're talking about a guy here earning, he might be clearing 500 quid a week. How do you support a family on that? So boxers chase the dream. And, you know, there's probably 2% of them that actually make it.
So say you do make it and you start to rise up the ranks. Strikers Boxing, a training academy, says the mid-tier fighters can earn more, somewhere between £10,000 and £50,000 a fight, depending on record, profile, opponent and popularity of weight class. It's only at the top level does the real cash start flowing in, with the top-tier professionals, i.e. those going for titles, earning 6 figures a fight. Something else you'll have heard of is the terms prize fighter or journeyman. A prize fighter is, as it sounds, someone who picks up fights where they can and gets a nice big check if they win. Journeymen are the fighters who take on up-and-comers, effectively used for experience in the ring. Even if they're going up against a real prospect, a young Anthony Joshua, for example, these guys will be lucky to earn more than 10 grand. So the average boxer isn't as rich as you'd think.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Danny Kelly joining us later on. Yeah, they're dancing in the streets of Dublin after Ronaldo got sent off. Sorry, Ireland beat Portugal. Sam Delaney spent a day as Erling Haaland living his life. How did that pan out for him? And Paul Watson's back from the Sweeper podcast. He is relaunching Kitmas. He's done that a few years now with his brother Mark and his family. And it's a brilliant thing, and we'll tell you how you can get involved and help some young kids get some fantastic Christmas presents they weren't expecting this year. But before that, comedian Shane Todd, Manchester United fan, has popped in to see us. Shane, good afternoon.
Thanks for having me, lads.
It is a great pleasure. Yeah, you are. You're just about to embark on a massive tour. A lot of UK and Ireland dates. Hold Me Back.
Yeah.
Was this a sort of placement name for a show, or is it got a theme?
Yeah, it's one of those things where you got to name the show a year out.
Yeah.
So you come up with the title, and then the worry is nothing links to the title of the show.
Have you tried to link it to the?
There is a little bit of a link.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a link. There's a few sort of rants in there. You know, a few things I'm noticing I need to be held back from.
Yeah.
And I had to be held back last night. I nearly missed a bit of the match. I was at the game last night. I was at the Ireland-Portugal game.
Oh, what about that?
And I was having a great time, and I took my 5-year-old son, who unfortunately Cristiano Ronaldo is his hero, so we had to go and see him.
Was there a lot of kids in tears when he went off? I mean,
well, I think people had the right idea of like not bringing their young kids, because it was a cauldron, obviously, of noise, and and it was too much for my son. At half time, he said, "We're out of here."
Really?
So luckily we got to see the 2 Ireland goals, but he didn't get to see his hero. thankfully get sent off in embarrassment.
First time in his career. What a story that would have been.
I know.
They're probably the only time that Cristiano gets sent off.
I know.
Yeah.
He deserved to get sent off, not just look at it. I mean,
he did, yeah.
A bit of an arm flying out there, wasn't there? So, I mean, the manager, Al Grimson, got under his skin a bit, didn't
I
he?
love his humility, though. He said, doesn't matter if I miss the first game of the World Cup, I'll still be top scorer. I mean,
yeah.
Well, we'll see what Danny Kelly made of that later on. Yeah, I mean, career-wise, you've embarked on these sort of world tours. You've got a big following overseas. You've been in the States, all over the place. Has that been kind of through the online stuff you've done, the TikTok stuff and Instagram and everything?
Probably, yeah, because I'm on the sort of Belfast comedy scene, so you know it's a small part of the world. So without social media, you probably couldn't reach out to these places. But it was really over COVID. I think things started. People were consuming more online stuff and started to get my name out there kind of a bit more, and been lucky to travel around places as much as possible. And the one thing I do when I'm away is try and play five-a-side. So the dream, like that is the dream, to just be going to all these different parts of the world and getting a game of.
Do you say like I'm coming to town? Any chance you can squeeze me in?
Yeah, I mean, and that's like, there's apps for this thing as well, which is, I know there's apps for a lot of things nowadays, but there's nothing seedier than a 37-year-old man coming into a new town and looking for other men to play five-a-side with.
Where's been some of the memorable five-a-side matches you've had then on your travels?
I played in Texas, played in Austin, Texas, in a high school on a Sunday morning at 7 a.m. I bring my boots, which is really sad. That's really sad. But all over.
Bringing your books. Our old producer is now living in San Antonio, so if you find yourself that way, see if we can get you involved in a pickup game with him. Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
You have a big online presence, and one of the things you have is this character called Keith Cruz.
Yeah, I was watching some. He's got a bit of a football flavour.
Soccer school.
He's an ex-pro, runs his own soccer school. He's got a bit of a derby on him.
He's got a tanning bed business as well. And can I just say, I never thought I'd be on talkSPORT discussing this.
His moustache, that's not real, is it?
No, that's I wish I could grow a moustache, but I'm only 37, so I can't yet. But it just came from having played football since I was no age. And
did you go to soccer schools with ex-pros
it's
this?
Just all the things you hear on the sidelines and now playing, at a very amateur level. It's just all the stuff that you hear and all those sort of characters, whether it was old managers or coaches, and the things that get shouted on the sideline. Like, someone recently shouted he couldn't score a new cabinet with a knife. So I make a mental list of all this kind of stuff.
That doesn't really stack up, does it? So, you go underway in March? Is that right?
Yeah, starting Ireland in January, and then I'm in this part of the world around March and London, and then go a bit further afield after that.
It's very exotic. Lisbon. I'm looking at the European bit. You're doing Lisbon, Barcelona, Paris, Berlin, and Zurich. So, and then Amsterdam and Stockholm. So before London. So
there's a big drop off. You've got the big Belfast shows in Lisbon. I'm in an 80-seater, and I'll be honest, the promoters are trying to cancel it. We've got 12 sold at the minute. I'm thinking if we get to 25, that show's on. So I am willing to break. Like, it's not all glamorous, we're in a basement in Lisbon that may or may not happen.
Have there been places where they haven't quite got it? I mean, you've been quite bold, or the fact you're going there means there are people that know what you do and like what you do?
Yeah, there's some times where I've overestimated my popularity. I put on a show in Milan on the last tour. I said, we'll have a bit of that. And, I said, I think I have a big enough fan base in Milan for some sort of show. And the promoter got in touch and said, look, we're going to have to cancel the show. And I said, well, I'll personally email the ticket holders. And they said, the good thing is you don't have to. There are no ticket holders.
Oh, no.
There was none sold. So some of these, you're taking a punt on. Like, obviously London have been playing for years and other places, but the likes of Zurich, this might be my first and last time there.
Oh, well, it's worth a crack, isn't it? You're popular enough elsewhere to make up for. It's quite an intrepid thing to do, quite a brave thing to do, but why not?
Yeah.
We're always looking for guests for Cheltenham, and I see you're in Birmingham on the Wednesday, the 18th of March.
Maybe we might invite you along for a day.
Yeah, I would love
You fancy a day at Cheltenham?
I would love that.
Are you're into your horse racing at all, Shane?
Just football. Just football.
And Manchester United.
And I can say that out loud again, which is great that I'm a Man United fan, you know.
You played. I'm Spurs, obviously. We played you at the weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, we were both pretty average, really.
Yeah.
I mean, Manchester United got better, but you know, I've seen, you know, I've been lucky enough to see the great Manchester United going back to Best Law and Charlton.
Yeah.
And they're not quite there yet. I think it's fair to say, the current crop.
No, and I kind of feel better. Like my oldest son's 5 now, and I've sort of got him into sport Man United. And it was tough, you know, when he was last year, I took him to a game and it was Bournemouth at Old Trafford, and I thought, I'll take him over to see a win, you know. So I purposely picked that Bournemouth game. We lost 3-0 and it rained the whole time, but he said he had a good time, so I've told him, trust me, it's been better before and it's going to get better again.
Yeah, he's young though, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's very young.
He's good. He's not losing the faith. He's not coming home saying, Daddy, can I be a Manchester City?
No, exactly. But the guy, I think the barometer for United picking up again, that guy, he's not going to cut his hair until we win 5 in a row. I think he's going to have a buzz cut by April.
Oh, you're right.
I think so.
You're feeling. I think he should have gone 5 unbeaten.
Yeah.
He was far too.
No, you're right.
5 wins in a row.
I don't think anybody's doing 5 wins in a row.
Even Arsenal. That's very hard.
Yeah,
it is very, very difficult. So, why was it Manchester United for you then? Was it sort of parents or what got you? Because I mean, we know in
massive following.
There's a big link, yeah.
Well, there is. Arsenal got a big following. You know, lots of teams have, but Manchester United and Liverpool.
And United, Arsenal, and Liverpool. But it was my dad. My dad was a United fan, and I kind of got in at a great time to be a United fan. So only about when things started going pear-shaped, you know, about when Ferguson left, really, that was the first time I'd experienced United not being one of the best teams in the league. But I kind of have enjoyed the drama of it a bit. You know, I think football's a great soap opera, and if your team are always winning, it's great. But to actually have like the ups and downs of it, it's been fun to just stick in with it and have your loyalty tested.
Do you follow an Irish League club at all?
No, because I have played since I was so young.
Yeah.
I've never really had a chance to go and follow a team on a Saturday, but it's getting a lot. It's getting a lot better. The Irish League, you know, half the teams are professional now, which is great, because like even when Irish League players were called up for international duty, like when Northern Ireland were playing England, Peter Thompson, who was one of our strikers, had to really negotiate to get it off from his post office run. He had to negotiate. Like there was a call in the papers to really like get him off that night and not go into work. So the league's a lot better now.
National team playing tonight in Slovakia. They kind of need snookers to qualify, really. Don't they? It's not looking good.
No, it's not looking good now, but I think optimistically, like the future looks great, because it's one of the youngest national teams in Europe, but they are looking very, very good.
What would you consider a good Manchester United season, Shane, this year? You're looking for sort of top 5, top 6, bit of Europe?
I think it'd be amazing to qualify for Europe, but I've said from the start of the season, just having a go a bit more and just more of a feel-good factor. Like when we went to that Bournemouth game,
they'll be top 6.
It's a horrible atmosphere.
They should be.
I think they'll be
top 6. I would take. Like this time last year, top 17. I probably would have taken. But yeah, I think as long as like it just feels like everyone's enjoying themselves a bit more, and it's less.
I also think Jason Wilcox is a really bright guy.
He seems like a good relationship with Amorim, and that's good.
And they're building. You can't do it all in one transfer window. And you looked at Anderson last night. You could definitely see him ending up at Manchester United.
Yeah, I would love that.
There's money to spend and everything. So, well, Shane, we wish you well with the tour.
Thank you, guys.
And you're always welcome back to come and see us. You may get that call on Cheltenham if you fancy a day out. Hold Me Back is the tour, and you can catch him. His London dates get underway on the Thursday, the 12th of March. Bit of a run at the Soho Theatre.
Yep.
Then Birmingham, all around the country and around Wales and Scotland and into Ireland as well. ShaneToddComedy.com, all the details there. We can get tickets. Lovely to see you.
Thank you very much for having me on, guys. Thank you.
We'll tell you more about Kitmas, how you can get involved. Paul Watson tells us more about that. And yes, we will be chatting to Danny Kelly. What are they making over in Ireland today? That win over Portugal yesterday. Yeah. That's all to come. We're here with our good friends at Tool Station.
welcome to North London. Eubank Jr. versus Ben on talkSPORT.
Let's get ready to rumble!
This is insane! Never seen anything like this!
The winner by unanimous decision, Chris Eubank!
This is a moment in time that we will never forget.
And the final scene absolutely delivered. We'll catch you next time.
Charlie Baker has done a mashup of Mike Gatting and Andy. As I said, Andy's growing a goatee at the moment, which is very Gat-like.
The thing is, the bloke he's come up with, ChatGPT, he's actually better looking than me and Gat.
AI's let you down. Anyway, let's hear from the former Celtic captain, current Ayr United boss, Scott Brown. He was chatting to Weekend Sports Breakfast's very own Shabana Hearn, and he responded to Jamie O'Hara's recent comments that Stockport County would win the Scottish Premiership.
Tell Jamie to get back in his box, please. I did see the video and talk about Stockport winning the league up here. And I know where he's coming from. Both teams are probably thinking Hearts are top of the league, so he's probably never watched any of the games up in Scotland in a long, long time. And there's been many players came on for the English Premier League and struggled, especially at Celtic and at Rangers as well. So, it's a different environment, and until you've been in that environment, I don't think you really understand what it's about. So, he was a fantastic player down the road, and take nothing away from him in that aspect, but he needs to maybe watch a little bit more of Scottish football before he can talk about that.
There we are. You can hear the full interview with Scott Brown. Tune into the Weekend Sports Breakfast tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. with Shabana Hearn and Tony Cascarone.
It was a bit of a mad thing.
It was a bit bonkers. Yeah. They may or may not feature him and Jason in the clips of the week a little bit later on. We will bring you those at 3:30. Danny Kelly joining us next. Shock, of course, in Ireland.
The result was a shock, wasn't it?
Well, I thought Portugal would get the job done, but old Troy Parrott, ex of Spurs, popping up with a couple of goals. Danny Kelly tells us what the mood is like in Ireland today and his reading of Ronaldo sending off. And Sam Delaney on living for a day in the shoes of Erling Haaland, following his fitness and diet regime that he put on his recent diary. But before that, we're very pleased to get behind Kitmas once again. We've often had a chat with Paul Watson about it. He's done it every Christmas, but he's done it most Christmases in recent years. And here he is from the Sweeper podcast to explain how it all works. Good afternoon, Paul.
Hey, good afternoon, guys.
So, tell us, we've been always happy to give you a helping hand with this in the past. So just tell us how Kitmas works and how our listeners can get involved.
Sure. So this is actually our 6th year of Kitmas, and it started basically with a few football shirts in my garage that I didn't have a home for, like nice brand new football shirts. And I took them to my local food bank, and they were over the moon and sort of said, God, can you get any more of these? The kids are going to love them. So we put out a little appeal on social media, and it just absolutely snowballed. We were getting hundreds of shirts being given to us. And so we kind of set it up a bit more formally, and we've ended up giving now 6,000 shirts to 25 community centres around the UK, and they go to groups working with families who maybe are looking at Christmas coming up and thinking, this is going to be a pressure on us because we can't really afford anything for our kids. And we're just really happy to be able to do a little something and just make sure there's a Christmas shirt to go under the tree for them.
So ideally they need to be kid sizes and in pretty good nick, or?
Yeah, so what we take, we accept used shirts as long as they are as new. So that's quite difficult, but we really don't want these to feel like hand-me-downs or cast-offs. We want them to be like as new condition. Otherwise, you can donate to us. We have a fundraiser on crowdfunder.co.uk/Kitmas. Hyphen 2025. So Kitmas 2025 on Crowdfunder. We use every penny we get to buy brand new shirts, and we look for we generally look for kind of cool shirts that are not necessarily UK clubs, because that can cause trouble for the community centres we're giving them to. You give out a Man U shirt to them, they've got to work out who's gonna have a brilliant Christmas or who's going to have a dreadful Christmas if they get that shirt. So we tend to go for like recognisable European shirts that any kid opening that is going to think, wow, that's a cool shirt. Like one of my favourites for this year is Real Betis. We've got some amazing Real Betis shirts that we're buying in, and they just look great. And there's no kid out there who isn't going to think that's a pretty cool shirt to wear to work.
Some of the shirts you have from the unofficial World Cup. I mean, I've got some at home that I could give you. That they're pretty good and unusual as well.
Yeah, and actually this was something we spoke to our community centres about. So we work with, these are the guys that actually do the proper work. You know, we talk to these community centres around the UK, and they're supporting families year round. And we said to them, like, honestly, be honest with us. Do kids like to receive the weirder shirts? Because we have sent some slightly more unusual ones. And they're like, yeah, like actually some of the ones we sent out last year from my friends at Stings, who actually made this one I'm wearing right now, which is a Zanzibar football shirt from the Zanzibar Premier League. They made some really amazing quirky shirts for teams in Micronesia. They sent some of those out, and the kids just loved them. So honestly, we are really open to kind of seeing if we can build relationships. These kids suddenly have a club that they had never heard of, and they have this like team they support in Turkey or Poland or wherever it is. And it's kind of a nice side effect of this project is it's not all Juventus shirts. So obviously there's a lot of that kind of shirt that we send out, but there's also some quite quirky ones that go out.
Have some of the sort of kit manufacturers and sort of kit wholesalers reached out with some surplus stock along the way?
No, we're always hoping we might get an approach. We buy an awful lot through Classic Football Shirts, and they do us a little discount, but I don't think it's any different to what everyone else gets really if they buy on bulk. So no, we'd love to get some deals with some slightly bigger retailers, but what we do is we get the best deals we can. Like I've bought now 6,000 shirts through this process, so we kind of know what will work, how we manage the sizes, how we kind of send to the centres what they're going to need. We've kind of got to the point, and my wife, who does this alongside me, initially, well, she's not a football fan at all, so she's gone all the way from like looking at a Juventus shirt and saying, well, what's that, to now she's like talking through with me like, you know, is that Turkish second division team a bit obscure? Like, do you think are we going to buy in a bit more Monaco shirts this year, or are we going to go for Fiorentina? And it's a fun part of the project.
So if someone's listening at home, they've got a virtually new shirt that didn't fit them, or they've got no use for it, how would they get that to you?
So on our crowdfunder page, which is the crowdfunder.co.uk/Kitmas 2025, there'll be details of our PO box. We have a PO box. I'll also put them on my Twitter. I'll do that right away now. I'm at Paul_C_Watson. So we have a PO box. You can send any shirt you think is good enough quality that a kid is going to love that on Christmas Day. Otherwise, please do just donate. Any amount makes a difference, and it allows us to just put some smiles on faces on Christmas Day.
Well, we'll put a link out at TSH&J for the crowdfunder, so people can go to that as well and click through. We wish you well with it, Paul. We'll catch up with you hopefully later in the month and see how things are going. But good to talk to you. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Mark Watson there and his launch of this year's Kitmas, if you can help. A lot of people have donated so far. And any wholesalers out there with a number of shirts that could help, or any of the manufacturers, it would be... What did I say? Did I go Matt? Did I call him Mark? Did I? I called him Paul, but then I said Mark afterwards, didn't I? Yeah, I'm always doing that. Mark is involved. I do apologise.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. The producer's shouting in my ear. I'd called him something else. I probably did call him by his brother's name. But anyway, they're both involved. Paul is at the forefront of it, and we'll send all the details out, and you can get involved and help out if you can. But as we said, any of the manufacturers out there, we would love to hear from you as well. I'm sure Paul would, if you could help out. Sam Delaney joins us next. He will tell us what it was like to live as Erling Haaland for a day. How did he keep up despite being not quite as fit, twice his age, and not as rich? We'll find out in a few moments' time. We'll have some clips of the week for you a little bit later on.
It's reported Joseph Parker failed a drug test for cocaine on the day he lost to Fabio Wardley. According to The Sun, Parker was tested on October 25th. talkSPORT's boxing expert Adam Catterall's told us Parker's B sample will now be checked in case of contamination.
There is a procedure to go through. As per the rules of the British Boxing Board of Control and UK Anti-Doping, I mean, Liam Cameron was on the back end of this. He tested positive for cocaine a few years ago, and he received a 4-year ban.
There's more on this story at talksport.com. Elsewhere today, Thomas Tuchel says he had the idea several months ago about Phil Foden playing up front for England. Foden replaced Harry Kane and set up as his second in England's 2-0 win over Serbia last night. But talkSPORT's Stuart Pearce isn't convinced by Tuchel's idea.
You would think that Rashford or Bowen can play down the middle. They're more of a natural fit in my eyes than playing Foden there. You know, make no mistake, him and the coaching staff would have talked about all conundrums.
And the under-pressure Ollie Pope strengthened his grip on the England number 3 spot ahead of the Ashes. He hit a century in England's warm-up game against the Lions. There's more Ashes build-up on talkSPORT's cricket YouTube channel.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. And real surprise last night, Cristiano Ronaldo shown a straight red for the first time in his career. That is a brave VAR.
Actually, I've just seen another angle on it where it's a bit dubious that he doesn't make contact with the bloke.
You see one angle,
he sort of hits him in the back and then he goes around holding his face.
The ref gave a yellow, which is, I mean, I don't know what is Portuguese for "do you know who I am," but I bet it was uttered to that referee last night. But off he went, and Ireland won 2-0. So I imagine this delight on 2 levels over in Ireland today. Let's turn to our man there, of course, Danny Kelly. Good afternoon, Dan.
Hello, chaps. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. I mean, were you a man watching 2 games last night? I mean, I know you like to keep across what England are up to, but
modern televisions allow you to watch them on the same screen if you buy a big enough TV. Yeah, I got to be honest. Because the England game was dead rubber, I watched that later. I watched the Ireland game live because they still had an outside chance of qualifying for the playoffs for the World Cup, which they still have when they go to Hungary in a few days' time.
Yeah.
But it was an amazing game. First of all, let me get this right. It was an amazing game of football. There was something happening on and off the ball before the game, during the game, and after the game. And you're right to say Cristiano Ronaldo, that was the big sort of talking point. But Ireland were really 2 up by that stage, which was one of the things that I think had contributed to his rather grumpy disappearance from the match.
He does lash out, though, doesn't he? What was all that, Danny, that stuff he was doing? Like,
well, he'd had a few words with Hallgrimsson. The coach had said beforehand that he felt that the referee was very favourable to Cristiano. He was like refereeing the game. So he said something, didn't he, Danny, pre-match, and said, "Oh, I'll be a good boy this time." So
Hallgrimsson had said that in the game, a very close game in Lisbon, which Ireland played really well in defensively. In fact, it was a sort of template for what they did last night. but they conceded very, very late on. And in that game, somebody said something to Cristiano Ronaldo after the goal, and he made the crying gesture, which he repeated last night. So in the run-up to the game, and you know what Cristiano's like, he does like to referee the game. And Hallgrimsson made a point of saying it in the press conference. Let's hope that the referee referees the game and not that they be run by Portugal's striker. And so when he was sent off, and I agree with you, Andy, I thought the sending off was poor. I've got to be honest about that. Much as I cheered when he was shown the red card, it wasn't a red card. Let's be honest. It was a barge in the back that if it happened in the centre circle, he wouldn't even got a yellow card. But we're now, re-refereeing these incidents. So now he's doing the crying gesture to Ireland's players as if to say, well done, you've got me sent off. And when he gets to the touchline, he congratulates Heidar Hallgrimsson on having influenced the referee. Hallgrimsson has words back with him after the game in the press conference. He said, have you spoken to Cristiano subsequently? He said, I think we had plenty. We said all we wanted to say on the touchline. It was a stupid thing to do. Of course it was, because it gives the VAR officials rather than the referee something to get busy about. But prior to that, let's be honest, Cristiano hadn't influenced the game. Very quickly, it was a really interesting tactical thing they did, Ireland. In the absence of Evan Ferguson, the manager has worked out that they can't just play Troy Parrott up front on his own. He's not that kind of player. So in order to accommodate two forwards, they played three centre-backs, forced Portugal's brilliant players wide, and then, against one of the greatest headers of the ball the world's ever seen, in Cristiano Ronaldo, took their chances they would win the headed duels, the three centre-backs. And they did. It was, in that way, it's like a Premier League game from this season, with cross after cross after cross being headed out by centre-backs. And in the end, I think it was that annoyed Cristiano Ronaldo. Of course, he was getting buffeted about. He's playing against three big lads who are taking no prisoners. But he wasn't the central figure in the game. It was Ireland's front two that were the central figures in the game. With Benny Chidozie and Troy Parrott ran the centre-backs of Portugal, ran them ragged, and looked like they were going to make a chance virtually every time they got the ball. It was a really good performance.
Now, my theory in the immediate aftermath of it was, we know presidential pardons are all the rage at the moment, and as Gianni Infantino is friends with Donald Trump, he may look to him and think, OK, it's violent conduct, and by rights he should miss the opening game of the World Cup, or the playoffs if it ends up being the playoffs of Portugal, and this won't be an issue. But if it is the World Cup and he's going to miss the first game, it did remind me of W.G. Grace. It's a bit like, they haven't come here to watch you officiate, mate. They've come here to watch me play. And Infantino will not want, the rain on his parade. He'll want Cristiano out there to play the first game.
Isn't Donald Trump banning violent foreigners from even going to the country?
Well, that's right. He may not get into the country, of course.
Of course not. No.
For that sort of behaviour.
Barging people in the back.
Could you see that? Could you see Infantino stepping in and saying, "Well, I think 3 games is too much. We want Cristiano at the World Cup."
I absolutely think you could, and I think it's what the other countries will make of it. I think there'll be every effort made to make sure that Cristiano Ronaldo is available for that first game for Portugal, as it looks very likely, should they qualify.
How are you feeling about this Hungary game? Are you cautiously optimistic that Ireland could do it?
Well, there's no point in being cautiously optimistic. You have to be how can I put this? Certain parts of your anatomy out optimistic. Right. Look, it makes the defeat in Yerevan against Armenia, the only points Armenia have picked up in the whole campaign. It makes it look like a terrible result, but you can't do anything about that now. The only thing you can do anything about is the game in Budapest. And look, Hungary have got one superstar in Szoboszlai. They've got 2 other players who make the team difficult to commentate, called Szalai and Szalai. Yeah. So you've got Szalai, Szalai and Szoboszlai. Yeah. Look, on paper, Ireland's form away from home is no good, but they should take great comfort from what they did last night against a much better team, albeit with the crowd behind them, in Dublin. They will have to defend stoutly, because Hungary, of course, need only the draw, and hope that that combination of Chidozie and Parrott's mobility up front gives them enough chances to get over the line. So Paul, in answer to your question, I am ferociously optimistic because there's not any point in being anything else, is there?
Absolutely. Well, look, we'll have a quick chat on Monday about England and Ireland, so we'll catch up with you then, Danny. Have a good weekend. Good luck to Ireland.
Bless you. Thank you, Paul. See you, men. Cheers. Bye.
There we are. That's Danny Kelly there on Cristiano Ronaldo being red-carded last night. The nominations for the Puskás Award, the goal of the season, are out today. And there was a few notable exceptions. So I immediately went to the time parameters for it. I mean, the Mickey van der Ven goal the other week against Copenhagen. Peter Zielinski's goal for into the kind of side foot volley against Verona.
It was a brilliant.
So I'm thinking, where are they? But the cut-off is the 2nd of August 2025. The only representation from a Premier League point of view was that brilliant second free kick by Declan Rice against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
So that's made it. Beyond that, there are entries from, Brazil and Italy and where else? Mexico and Argentina and Indonesia. Because it's a pretty broad church, isn't it, normally, the Puskás Award?
Yeah.
Good goals are good goals. So, and Yamal's in there as well. So, anyway, good luck to Declan Rice flying the flag, because we've seen quite a lot of Premier League winners over the years. Giroud, Salah, Sonny, Eric Lamela, and Garnacho fairly recently as well. You can go along and vote. I think it's at the Premier League website. You can click through, obviously, the FIFA website. It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. And Sam Delaney's going to join us next. He was writing for The Telegraph. He said to them, I want to spend a day in Erling Haaland's shoes. He took a look at his diary that he posted recently and his diet and his habits and his normal 24 hours and thought, could I live like that and would it benefit me? Well, we'll find out. Sam joins us next. We're here with our good friends at Toolstation. Don't forget their unmissable deals. Great offers on hundreds of trade brands. Next stop, Toolstation.
10 on talkSPORT.
Let's get ready to rumble!
This is insane! Never seen anything like this!
The winner by unanimous decision, Chris
This is a moment in time that we will never forget.
And the final scene, absolutely delivered. We'll catch you next time.
Now, thanks to our friends at Virgin Atlantic, we're giving you and a mate the chance to win the ultimate trip of a lifetime to Las Vegas. You'll kick things off in style, exclusive access to the Virgin Atlantic Clubhouse at Heathrow, fly upper class, live flatbeds, premium service all the way. Once you touch down, you'll check into a spa villa for 4 nights. You can go and watch the Raiders versus the Chiefs. We're going to throw in 5,000 cash to play with while you're there. So clear your calendar. It's going to be the 2nd to the 7th
in the
of Jan.
first morning.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, please gamble responsibly. 2nd to the 7th of Jan 2026. Could this be the best start to your new year ever?
21 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text at £2 plus standard network rates. Bill payer's permission required. Or call 03434239761. Calls are charged at standard rate. All entries must be received by the 28th of November at 4 p.m. This is a network promotion. Run across talkSPORT, Virgin Radio UK and Talk. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
Now, Erling Haaland recently posted his kind of day in the life and kind of gave you an insight into how he looks after himself, what he eats, how he trains. Just an average day for the Manchester City and Norway striker. Well, Sam Delaney thought he would give that a try and try and live the life. He's a touch older, possibly not as fit.
Not quite as long a hair.
No, that's true. He rarely the ponytail is a not a look he goes for.
No, not really.
And he wrote it for the Telegraph, and he's going to tell us a bit more about it now. Good afternoon, Sam.
Afternoon, chaps.
Yeah, I mean, most people looked at that and thought, "Blimey, that sounds great," but you wanted to step into those shoes.
Well, they asked me to, and I said, "Yeah," because whatever, I'll do it if they're paying. And one line I wouldn't cross was they said, "Will you wear a Man City shirt?" And I haven't got anything against Man City, but I thought might not go down that well with the West Ham faithful if I appear in the national press wearing a City shirt. So they said, "Well, we need something." So I genuinely, laughing about that, I genuinely said, "Well, I'll wear a wig." I said, "I'll happily wear a Haaland wig." I thought they're bound to sell them in the Man City club shop, I would assume. But for some reason, they turned that offer down. I thought it would have elevated the visual side of the story really well. But
you're wearing a light denim shirt in the City colours, so you you compromised clearly.
That was the compromise that I went for. No wig, but a light blue shirt.
Now he starts with a morning walk, doesn't he? And you often start with a morning walk, but not at 6:30 a.m. generally.
I tend to get up, I'll have breakfast, then I'll take the dog for a walk. So I thought I'll swap it round. I'll take the dog for a walk first thing. But the picture actually, I did find it really relaxing to be out, and there was a lot of science to suggest that being out when the air's slightly cleaner and things are quieter is good for your mental health and your physical health and all the rest of it. And I did really enjoy it. But my dog is not relaxing to walk with. You can actually see in the photo, it's like there's a photo of me walking the dog on their website, and it sort of says, Sam found this so relaxing. But it's given away a little bit by this little cockapoo I've got. Cookie is yanking on the lead. Like it's not one of those lovely poetic strolls in the soft morning light.
No,
it is like I am in a wrestling match with this yapping dog at all times. But I think Haaland's right. I just think that I should go without the dog next time.
You tried the super coffee that he has at 7 a.m, which has got raw unpasteurised milk and a bit of maple syrup. How did that go down?
I had to it was a real pain getting hold of raw milk. It's a difficult thing to get hold of. I had to go up, not far from your studios, I had to go up to Borough Market to one bloke who flogs it there. And the people who like it absolutely swear by it. But a lot of people think it's a bit risky because it's not pasteurised, so it can carry bacteria. I just found it unpleasant, to be honest.
Was it a bit tangy? What's it like?
It was tangy. It was overly creamy. I prefer semi-skimmed in my coffee.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it was very creamy. And then the maple syrup as well. You're basically drinking one of these milky, sugary sort of coffee drinks that
like a builder, like a builder's coffee, 3 sugars.
I'm not even sure about that. I think it's like a kiddie's drink. Right?
Okay.
That's what I know. This is like kiddie coffee.
Yeah.
I don't want it. It made me feel nauseous. That was, of all the things that I did, that was the worst because it was such a pain. I had to get on a train to buy a pint of milk. It was
that is mad, isn't it?
Don't you think, though? I mean, how much, having done this, Sam, how much of this is down to genetics and physical attributes? I mean, he's just, he's an incredible specimen.
He's got a good starting point, but he does work hard on the maintenance, doesn't he?
Are we talking about Erling or me here?
Oh, well,
I'm
both
confused.
really.
I'm confused because when you say a remarkable specimen, you're right, Andy, I am. And a lot of people do say that, and I'm flattered for you to point it out. And, but, the thing is, funny enough, I went to do the ice bath and the sauna, and the therapist, the wellness therapist at the sort of spa place I went to, she happened by coincidence to be from the same town as Erling Haaland grew up in. So I got some good insight to the culture of how they live. And it's quite remote in the southwest, and it's far away from any of the cities, and it's a very rural farming sort of community. And from a very early age, things like swimming in ice cold water early in the morning, taking saunas straight afterwards, drinking raw milk straight from the farm, eating meat straight from the farm, and all that sort of stuff, eating a very simplistic diet with a lot of meat and potatoes and dairy and all of these things. She said that's how everyone there has lived for generations. And the only other thing we do, she said, there's not much to do. So the main activity is playing football. And I thought, well, this guy's from generations of people who've just eaten huge bits of meat, consumed huge amounts of dairy, swum in ice cold water, and played football all day. And the result we have is a man that, I mean, even before we knew any of this, he has been regarded and described by many as superhuman. That is what he's like, isn't he? He's superhuman, but he does work out. He's got this routine that he does. He's got the physio comes around every morning to his house.
Yeah.
Doesn't even wait for him to get in. The city physio comes to his house and stretches him and manipulates him after breakfast. And he takes it all very, very seriously. He takes nutrition extremely seriously. And he's an impressive guy because he lived on his own since he was 16 when he first moved to his first professional club away from home. And he said, I've always had to cook and clean for myself. That's why I know how to cook. So you expect these footballers to always be very pampered and spoiled, but he seems someone who kind of takes all of this stuff very serious and looks after himself quite well.
Did you, I know you said in the piece that the stretching you felt was pretty beneficial, but what about the ice bath? Did it get you in the mood? The ice bath and quick sauna turnaround, is that something you'll try again?
I think I will. I think I will. And he makes a good point in it. He said it's not just, it's supposed to have a fantastic effect on your cardiovascular health. And it's the way that it'll get it's the equivalent of kind of doing interval runs, in as much as you get into the ice cold water and your blood pressure goes up and the blood's flowing very fast, and then you calm it straight back down again in the sauna and you keep alternating it. But he also points out, it's got a good mental health aspect to it, in that you basically said that if you do this first thing in the morning, you're basically conquering something you really don't want to do at an early stage. You do it, it goes fine, you feel better afterwards, and that kind of informs your approach to other challenges you face during the day. And I think there's some logic in that. Actually.
You're a big fan of the cold shower, Andy. You maintain. My oldest boy's the same.
I am.
You don't get a lot of colds.
But you don't look forward to it. Sam's absolutely right. But once you've done it, and if I do, occasionally on the weekend I'll miss it out because I just can't face it.
Right.
Then I don't feel as good about myself.
Really?
It's true.
So it partly is mental, isn't it?
Yeah.
Steaks-wise, you're a vegetarian, so you didn't get into the tomahawk steak.
No.
So that was one aspect you couldn't try. Overall, Sam, would you? What were the bits that you would? What were the takeaways? You probably had a takeaway afterwards. But
I did to make up. It's funny, you're going through the things I couldn't do. The Telegraph probably thought we've commissioned the wrong bloke here. First he says he won't wear a City shirt. Now he won't eat a steak. Is there anything he is prepared to do that Erling Haaland does?
Yes.
But it was too late by then. They'd already commissioned me. I think that the things that I will definitely try again are the ice baths and saunas, which I'd never tried an ice bath before. I'd always been curious. I don't know if I'd have ever had the courage unless I was being paid to do it.
Yeah.
Now I've done it. I think it is beneficial. And the early morning walks and the stretching, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I go running a lot and I go to the gym a lot, and I'm 50 years old, so I've always got some sort of pain going on, usually in my back. And if I was a bit more consistent with the stretching, it would make a big difference. So I do think that I've picked up a few little things that I'll continue, but just not raw milk and maple syrup in the coffee. Forget that.
Could you play up front for City now, you think? Would you have that?
I could give me the last 5 minutes if you're chasing a goal. Right, and just stick me up front.
Yeah,
and I might squeeze into West Ham's lineup.
Well, you could full crew, maybe. You could just step in for him, couldn't you?
I'm a lot fitter than he is most of the time. 2 in
a row, Sam. It's dreamland, isn't it? 2 wins in a row.
Yeah, it turns out we were massive all along. It was only a blip. It is tremendously exciting. It was very strange when Nuno took over, because I think everyone agreed it was a great appointment, and then he just really picked some very strange, very, very strange lineups in his first 2 games, and we lost. And we thought, what's going on here? I thought this was a safe pair of hands. But then since then, he just changed to a very positive lineup, changed whole midfield, brought in a youngster, Freddie Potts, into midfield. And suddenly the team look up for it. They look like they all know what they're supposed to be doing. They're working hard. They're scoring goals. It's an amazing turnaround. We do have a very, very hard run of fixtures between now and New Year, but I think the main thing is there's hope now, whereas before there was none. Yeah. So we'll see what happens, but I think Nuno it was a very good appointment.
Good stuff, Sam. Good to talk to you. Thanks very much.
Cheers, lads. All the best.
All the best. Sam Delaney there. You can read it on the Daily Telegraph's website and see the pictures of Sam living the life of Erling Haaland, and he's a West Ham podcaster as well. So still to come. We're going to have a bit of Andy's news and nonsense. He's got some bits and pieces for us to run past. We've got some more of your emails. I said today Andy's growing a sort of Mike Gatting-like goatee. There's a look of Gat about him. He wasn't massively impressed with that. And sometimes
I say flattering.
People point things out and you think, I don't look like them, do I? We've had a few interesting replies to those. Clips of the week, and we'll check in with our own Spencer Oliver. Because Andy Goldstein, Darren Bennett coming live from the York Hall where the weigh-in's taking place for Eubank Ben 2, and we'll build up to that fight. We'll take a look at some of the undercard as well with Spencer live from the York Hall a little bit later on in the hour.
Tyson Fury, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. Just hearing these names makes you think money and the hundreds of millions of dollars, pounds or Saudi riyals in boxing. But that's at the top. At the bottom, it isn't quite the same. Even for those on the rise, there's not an awful lot of cash in the boxing world. And if you're just starting out, well, it can be a very costly exercise indeed. But don't take my word for it. Here's the former European champion talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver.
You're turning professional and you're boxing, let's say, York Hall on a non-televised fight. You have to sell tickets to earn any money, but you have to cover the wages of your opponent as well. So if you don't have the ability to be able to sell enough tickets, you effectively have to pay to fight.
A far cry then from Jake Paul facing Mike Tyson in 2024, when the purse was reported to be around £48 million. But the vast amounts of cash lining the top dog's pockets isn't the norm in a typical fight.
Let's say you're lucky and you get between 5 and 10 grand. You're going to get 10 grand max for that. 10% goes to the trainer, 25% goes to the manager. Then we've got the tax man to pay as well. So we're cutting that money in at least half. So now you've got 5 grand for a 10-week camp. So you're talking about a guy here earning, he might be clearing 500 quid a week. How do you support a family on that? So boxers chase the dream. And, you know, there's probably 2% of them that actually make it.
So say you do make it and you start to rise up the ranks. Strikers Boxing, a training academy, says the mid-tier fighters can earn more, somewhere between £10,000 and £50,000 a fight, depending on record, profile, opponent and popularity of weight class. It's only at the top level does the real cash start flowing in, with the top-tier professionals, i.e. those going for titles, earning 6 figures a fight. Something else you'll have heard of is the terms prize fighter or journeyman. A prize fighter is, as it sounds, someone who picks up fights where they can and gets a nice big check if they win. Journeymen are the fighters who take on up-and-comers, effectively used for experience in the ring. Even if they're going up against the real prospects, a young Anthony Joshua, for example, these guys will be lucky to earn more than 10 grand. So the average boxer isn't as rich as you'd think.
Power on talkSPORT. Check out Paddy's latest offers on the Paddy Power app or at paddypower.com. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Time once again for our bet builder with our friends at Paddy Power. We welcome Graeme Burn and we're going to look forward to tomorrow evening's World Cup qualifier as Scotland play Greece in Piraeus. Olympiakos is. Good afternoon, Graeme.
Yeah, good afternoon, gents.
Yeah, so just briefly explain how the bet builder works, if you can.
Yeah, we're putting a scenario together within the game that gives us a nice price. We've come to with 5 different options on this one, and it comes to about 25 to 1.
Now, this is a massive game. Yeah. A lot at stake for both teams. So I think there will be goals. That's why I've kicked off with both teams to score.
Yeah, I agree with you. Greece have had a terrible campaign. They need something from this game. And, of course, Scotland, all roads lead to the big game on Tuesday at Hampden when they're taking on Denmark. Currently locked at the top of the group with Denmark, but Denmark have 6 goals better in the goal difference. So Scotland will need to get a draw or a win or something definitely in this game, and I can see them coming forward and both teams scoring.
The nerves, Andy, you see, don't you?
Yeah, I just can't see Scotland going to Greece. It's a difficult place to go, and I think the best they can do is a draw. I might be wrong, hope I'm wrong, but that's what I'm going for.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that these teams are no stranger to each other. I think this is the 4th time in the last year that they've played each other, so they know each other well and wouldn't be surprised to see them cancel each other out. I think a draw is as good as a win for Scotland because with the goal difference in the group and Denmark playing Belarus at home, you'd imagine they'll win that. It looks like next Tuesday at Hampden, Scotland will have to win to qualify to win the group.
Now, producer Sean, we were chatting earlier on. We were talking about McGinn, score or assist, but he went with McTominay in the end, which is just as good a choice, I reckon.
Yeah, he plays in the hole. He's what a player he is. I think there's rumours he's Man United are trying to get him back, which they'll have to admit the mistake for getting rid of him. But he plays in the hole. He's banging them in at international level. What a season he's had, even out in Napoli, Player of the Year out there. So wouldn't surprise me at all to see Scott McTominay involved with a score or an assist.
The people, your most popular bets with the punters at the moment. They see a lot of Scotland corners over 5.5.
Over 3.5, I believe.
Oh, sorry.
It is, which looks a bit low because you think Scotland are going to come forward to get into those wide areas and get plenty of corners, and they just need 4 corners for that to come in.
Okay, and you've gone for a John McGinn bet, haven't you, Graeme?
I have indeed. I've gone with him to have 2 or more fells because he's a little terrier in there. He's going to be in the engine room for Scotland, getting himself stuck in like he likes to do, and I can see him leaving his mark on a couple of players, let's put it like that, and getting a couple of fells.
So if we get this all right, what are we looking at odds-wise?
25 to 1. I'll be looking forward to talk to you next time when we have a winner like that.
Brilliant.
Marvellous. Excellent. Thank you, Graeme. Thanks very much.
Cheers, guys.
Graeme Burn there from Paddy Power. That's Paddy's bet builder for today. Minimum odds 1 to 5 per leg, 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Paddy Power on talkSPORT. Check out Paddy's latest offers on the Paddy Power app or at paddypower.com. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
So, Andy, you've got some of your news and nonsense, haven't you?
Yes. First, a small selection of daft letters.
Yes.
This bloke wrote to the Star. He said, "What's all this fuss about secondary ticket sales for music concerts? Just go back to how it used to be and pay on the gate." Imagine that.
Pay on the Oasis.
80,000 people trying to get into Wembley.
Pay on the gate. Pay on the gate for a gig.
Honestly, these people.
Sounds like
Brian Linford, our old mate, has written about Angela Rippon.
Has he really? This is Brian. Now we should probably, people don't realise Brian Linford writes to the Star. He writes with no punctuation. It's all stream of consciousness.
No capitals.
He has capital letters sometimes when he wants to shout, doesn't he? But there's no capital letters this time. Just stream
There's also no punctuation either. Angela Rippon's C5 is featuring in a programme about river cruises 40 years after the Xmas surprise song and dance routine with Morecambe and Wise. She subverted her public image from a straight-laced newsreader on the show in an economic report saying there may be trouble ahead, but while there is music, moonlight and light. He's doing the bit from the Morecambe and Wise in the letter. There's seemingly now a fabulous cruise trip too this Christmas.
Yeah.
Brian, mate, honestly.
You're a big fan, aren't you?
Oh, I am, yeah.
We try and get him in for the Christmas Eve show. I think you'd love to meet him, wouldn't you?
Yeah, tremendous.
Yeah. Big
Anyway.
fan. You can get the train down.
Give me a number.
I'll say 39.
39.
Have I done 39?
I don't know. We'll find out. What happened to the sheet I gave you? You lost it again.
Well, you never gave me another one. I lost the one you gave me about 6 months ago, or no, about a month ago.
Oh, yeah, this was good. This was...
Oh, okay, good.
Aspiring cook Brooklyn Beckham.
Yes.
Serves up
I know you're a fan, Andy.
crispy-looking spaghetti carbonara.
Shouldn't be crispy, should it?
No, it's not crispy.
Oh, it's got bacon in it.
Yeah.
I suppose that's all right.
Burnt bits.
Oh, yeah.
It's absolutely burnt.
Burnt bits of bacon.
Yeah.
That's the way he likes it.
And he was seen chopping up the ingredients and later insisted it wasn't burnt, he said. Guanciale.
Not guano, it wasn't that, was it?
No, guano.
I'm eating his guano carbonara.
He's not a bloke that plays for Lazio. It's Italian for type of bacon. Guanciale has a lot of sugar in it.
Yeah.
That's why it's dark.
I often pop down Spa and get myself some guanciale bacon.
Meanwhile, footballer David, 50, thanks, read a map on a motorbike as part of a photo shoot to promote his eyewear range.
It's good.
Tremendous.
Well done to him.
Great news about the Beckhams. That was number 39.
That was number 39. Shall I say number 82?
Number 82. Number 82.
82.
Lamingtons are now available in Britain.
The Australian
cake.
Cake, yeah. They're quite nice, actually.
I do, yes. If you want to get some in for the Ashes, I don't know why you would.
Would that be bad luck?
It would be.
The last thing we got the Sixes thing next week. We can find some Lamingtons.
Yeah, M&S do them apparently.
We got we got a couple of Aussies coming, haven't we?
That's a good idea.
And if we force feed them Lamingtons, that may mean they lose the Ashes. We're clutching at anything at the moment. At the moment, all we're really clutching at is Mark Wood's calf. That was a bit depressing. It's obviously very depressing for him, isn't it? But
it's annoying
to see him sort of pull up. You know, and basically in his sort of first game for a while, it was a bit. Anyway, let's look on the bright side. As we said, we're going to be live, a little bit of a cricket special for you next week. We did ask you. I said Andy looked a bit like Mike Gatting with his when now he's growing his goatee again, and he took that well, I thought. But we were just asking. Sometimes people don't. He said, where's this one come from? Sat in my car in Bideford, Devon, says Argyle Chris. 2 youngsters have just shouted at me, David Moyes! I think it's the eyes, he says. So it's funny that should be happening at that moment. 10 years ago, I was mistaken for Jason Statham, says Dave from Colchester, which I took as a compliment. Last year, though...
Quite a lot of blokes look like Jason Statham.
Last year, someone said to me, I look like the pub landlord.
Our producer looks like Jason Statham, if you want.
Well, does he look like Jason Statham?
He's got that when he takes his hat off.
Well, he never takes his hat off. That's why I'm struggling to find...
There you are.
Find that. Oh, yeah. Oh, the hat's off, yeah. Any Jason Statham thumbs up from the gallery, for the producer? Oh, okay, well, one. That's not bad. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. What else have we got here? I was once told it looked like a young Oliver Reed. I had to look him up and found out he was a famous drunk. Well, he wasn't just a famous drunk. He was also a very fine actor.
Oh, yeah, he was.
That was Rob from Cardiff. Thank you, Rob.
Dark, he was fantastic.
One day, says Lauren, this is Charlie Baker's attempt at AI. He's tried to do a mashup of Gat and Mike Gatting and Andy Jacobs.
He looks like my upholsterer.
Does he?
Yes, who I've been in contact with recently.
Well, there was a famous. Well, I say famous. There was the listeners. The listeners really bought into the fact that you needed you were looking for an upholsterer to do your sofa.
Oh yeah,
I've got. It became quite a saga. It was like an episode of The Archers, but not as interesting.
He's great, but he looks like him, basically.
Where's Lawrence gone?
I like him because he's shorter than me.
Who's that?
The upholsterer.
So do you like to employ people shorter than you?
I like to be with people who are shorter than me.
It's quite difficult, isn't it?
It's very difficult.
If you only employed,
doesn't happen a lot.
If you only employed people that were shorter than you, that'd be strange, wouldn't it?
It would be weird, really weird.
One day I was told I looked like George Clooney.
I confused really weird and weird to reared.
Reared, okay. I don't worry about it, mate. One day I was told I looked like George Clooney, which made me feel pretty good, said Lawrence from the Borough. But the next day, a work colleague said I looked like Phil Taylor. I mean, it's quite
a bit of a difference.
It's quite a lot of room between the two, isn't there, really?
George the Power Clooney.
Yeah. So
you look great.
It can happen. Actually, it was a darts player who looked like that. We've not really... So far, we had a darts player that's got Hollywood looks. I mean, with respect to every darts player listening, or I'm just saying, we've not had anybody.
We could take nominations for the
Who is the Ryan Gosling of darts?
Best-looking darts player out there.
But I mean, that's
quite hard, isn't
we shouldn't judge people on their looks.
No, of course not. You know.
Hashtag be kind. All I'm saying is, there hasn't been one, has there?
No.
There hasn't been.
Yeah.
Hasn't been, not that matters. Yes, talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH and J 03717 223344. Do you want to do one more?
I'll give you some posh people news.
Guys, have some posh. I like posh people news. This is where you go through the court circular and you bring us news that none of us can relate to or care about.
Exactly.
And that is true of the sort of mid-market tabloid that this appears in, really.
Very much so,
surprisingly.
yeah. Prince Harry's ex, Cressida Bonus.
Oh, yeah.
And her husband, Harry Wentworth Stanley, him of the Hill and Pie Shop, announced in January they're expecting a second child. Now I hear they bought a palatial house for their growing family. I'm so pleased for them. After selling their Notting Hill flat, the couple have splashed out on a 5-bedroom home for $1.75 million.
That does sound like a bonus, doesn't it? Yeah.
Cressida, 37, and Harry, 36, who cares, are technically staying in West London, over in the rather less aristocratic neighbourhood of Acton.
Okay. We've had a couple of suggestions. Dance, who covers the darts for us, he says Steve Beaton. He said there is a touch of the Clooney Silver Fox about Steve Beaton. Dance, I'll give you that. Well, that's not a great name, Beaton, for a darts player, is it? I just suddenly thought of that. It's like being a football manager called Alan Neal. And the other one suggested by the gallery, which I think is fair enough, is Gerwyn Price, who has, played a bit of sport at a high level. He's quite ripped. And so, yes, I'd say he's if we're looking for the Clooney, we're probably amongst Steve and... no, look, none of this is all just frivolous, of course it is. Anyway, we're going to enter the world of American. Gerwyn Price, Adonis of a man.
I would not describe Steve Beaton as George Clooney.
No, he's got grey hair. That's that's right.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, funny enough, Andy, The Upholsterer is the next Jason Statham movie that he's just announced.
Is it?
Yeah, he's The Upholsterer. I've come to fix your sofa. I mean, it wouldn't be much of a film, would it? Bloke comes around, fixes your sofa and leaves again. 9-darter Pit has been suggested. Bobby in Bristol says we should go and see The Upholsterer, the new Jason Statham. Gerwyn Price sits at that top spot for me, says Dan in Newcastle. So there we are. Thank you very much for that. We've arrived at our own Clooney of darts, I think. And we're going to have Todd McLin up next to chat to us about the world of American sports. Some interesting stories this week. AI went into overdrive on one player, rather pointlessly. We'll try and get to the bottom of that with Todd in a few moments' time. We're here with Toolstation. Check out Toolstation's unmissable deals. Great offers on hundreds of trade bargains. Next stop, Toolstation.
to North London, Eubank Jr. versus Ben on talkSPORT.
Let's get ready to rumble!
This is insane! Never seen anything like this!
The winner by unanimous decision, Chris Eubank!
This is a moment in time that we will never forget.
And the final scene absolutely delivered. We'll catch you next time.
Time to talk American sports, as always, with our man Todd McLin. Good afternoon, Todd.
Hey, boys.
Well, we're going to start with last night's game, as we always do. The Patriots beat the Jets 27-14. I've seen a few people starting to think they could go on a bit of a Super Bowl run. What's your take on it, Todd?
I'm impressed with the Patriots. Those Thursday nighters, we've had some huge upsets, but it was kind of business as usual. The better team won. The team at home won. New England now first team to get to 9 wins. They've won 8 straight games. And a reminder, this was a New England team that only won 4 games each of the last 2 years. So an incredible jump to where they are now. Right now, the top team in football based on record. Listen, in the AFC, I still think it's KC, Buffalo, Baltimore are still the team to beat. And I know that they're all having tough seasons, and Baltimore may not even make the playoffs. I think New England would really help themselves by getting home field in the playoffs. So I would say they're one of the teams in the mix. I would not say they're the favorite, but they're definitely in the mix.
Now, amongst the former players who think they could have a good season and get to the Super Bowl is Rob Gronkowski, their former player, tight end, who played, of course, with Tom Brady in that great side. He signed a new deal for the team, but just for one day. It's actually a lovely story. Somebody who was involved in a charity with Susan Hurley, who was a former Patriots cheerleader, died recently. And he went off to play for another team, didn't he, after the Patriots for a short time. And she said she asked him whether he'd re-sign for the Patriots so he'd leave, he'd retire officially as a Patriots player. And the club and Gronkowski honoured that, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And it happens a lot in sport. Doesn't matter the sport. A lot of guys that have made their name with one team and gone on elsewhere have come back and signed these kind of, ceremonial one-day contracts. Of course, he followed Tom Brady to Tampa Bay, right? Came out of retirement, won a Super Bowl, but he's a Patriot, right? I think when you think of Gronk, you think of a lot of antics, but you think of him as a Patriot.
The signing ceremony was good. Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, was there, and he was getting him to sign the one-day deal. And he said, you couldn't make it 2 days as we got the Jets tomorrow night. He said, yeah, sure. He said, what about the signing bonus? and Kraft said, yeah, nothing changes, he said.
Yeah.
There was a good bit of stuff. Yeah, we'll see how they get on. We'll keep an eye on that. There's a game in Madrid, isn't there, this weekend? We're going to be bringing it to you on talkSPORT too. They're playing at the Bernabeu Stadium for the first.
Yeah, I think they were in Germany last week.
Yeah, it's the last of these international games, so they're going far and wide, aren't they?
Absolutely, they are, right? Brazil this year as well. So yeah, they have all these markets that obviously have a demand to see live NFL games. The NFL can make a lot of money from it, so they're going to do it, and they're going to keep doing it, right?
We've been talking a lot since the NBA season started about Victor Wembanyama of San Antonio Spurs, who's been pretty unplayable. There's kind of Erling Haaland parallels within the way he is at the moment. But then they came up against Golden State and Steph Curry. I don't want to say he got schooled, you can tell me otherwise, but he was the star performer on the night, wasn't he, Steph Curry?
Steph's still getting it done, guys. And it feels like the window for Golden State is closed, like they have their 4 championships. I know they think they have a chance. I don't think they do. But Steph is still you're getting a lot of, is Steph the greatest shooter of all time? Is he the greatest player? No, I still think it's Michael Jordan. Jordan won, probably LeBron too. But Steph can still bring it. And in that game against Golden State, the thought of playing against Wemby really fired Steph up. And he, again, had an incredible shooting night, 44 points. Was it 44, 47 points? And Golden State won the game. Yeah.
Now, Andy often shows me things and he says, this is incredible. How could this happen? And I say, mate, it's AI. He showed me this staircase. It was about 20,000 feet in the air the other day. And I said, mate, it's AI. Nobody will ever do that. So everybody gets fooled by AI along the way. But this is so strange. Who even thought of doing this? This is the Boston Celtics' Jaylen Brown. In the recent couple of games, when he's made contact with other players and he has rubbed his head up against their shirts, there has been a kind of dark, smudgy deposit left on their shirts. So people are thinking, what's he done? Has he got a bit of spray on hair? Has he been dyeing it and as he sweats, the dye's coming off? But apparently it's AI. He took to X to say AI's getting out of hand. But who would A, think of this and go to the length to sort of cod up these videos of a guy just to make it look like he's dyeing his hair?
There's always somebody, right? Like we talk about it in sports where, someone gets a contract that's so out of whack of what people think that person deserves. And we always say all it takes is one person, right, to think that this person is that much more valuable. Guys, all it takes is one person to think, I'm going to use AI to make people think that his hair or his dye is rubbing off on people's jerseys. Listen, there's a lot of people who don't like the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
And that could be one of the motivations for this as well. Hey, Jaylen Brown's having a great year because Boston in tough. Jason Tatum, their star, is out for likely most of the year, if not all of it. And Jaylen Brown's been terrific so far for the Celtics.
Yeah, it probably was a Lakers fan that did it, wasn't it?
Yeah, there you go.
Now, this was impressive. This is a gym teacher in Maine. He set a new world record. He did an hour of 3-pointers. He had 1,683 attempts, and he put 1,516 of them in. That's pretty impressive conversion rate. He's got in the Guinness Book of World Records. He's also in there already for 3 throws. He did 2,494 in an hour. So, wow. I mean, I think he was a decent college player in his day, but that is pretty impressive, Todd, isn't it?
It is incredibly impressive. And I don't care that there's no one defending him and no one with a hand in his... That's impressive, all right? Because you still got the crowd there that, that could make you nervous, and you're trying to get to a number. So if you don't, you miss a few, you can get nervous. Listen, that's impressive. And the way the NBA is now, and I joked about not being defended, the game is about 3-pointers. So, listen, it's not surprising that this has become a big deal, him making this 3-point record.
I love the legend about Larry Bird, that he ended every practice with 100 free throws that he had to make in a row. And if he went out, if he got 97 and...
He'd start again. Really?
That's what they say.
That's it. So that's
Larry Legend. There's the great story very quickly of one of the 3-point contests at the NBA. He walked into the room with all the other guys, looked at them all and said, so who's playing for second?
Yeah, that's about right.
And then he won. And then he went out and won the 3-point competition.
Wow. Nice one, Tom. We'll catch up with you next week. Thanks very much.
See you, boys.
Tom McLin there, a man on American sports. Clips of the week coming up next. And then we'll be heading over to the York Hall in Bethnal Green in East London, where the weigh-in's taking place for Eubank Ben. That's where Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent will be broadcasting from this afternoon. All the big build-up to our big fight tomorrow night at Eubank Ben 2 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Commentary team, John Rawling, Dave Allen, Spencer Oliver, Adam Cattrall, Gareth A. Davis. Coverage starts at 7, but as we said, we'll have a chat with Spencer and find out a bit more about the weigh-in and what else is going on today at the York Hall a little bit later on in the show.
reported Joseph Parker failed a drug test for cocaine on the day he lost to Fabio Wardley. According to The Sun, Parker was tested on October 25th. talkSPORT's boxing expert Adam Catchwell's told us Parker's B sample will now be checked in case of contamination.
There is a procedure to go through. As per the rules of the British Boxing Board of Control and UK anti-doping, I mean, Liam Cameron was on the back end of this. He tested positive for cocaine a few years ago, and he received a 4-year ban.
There's more on this story at talksport.com. Elsewhere today, Thomas Tuchel says he had the idea several months ago about Phil Foden playing up front for England. Foden replaced Harry Kane and set up Ez's second in England's 2-0 win over Serbia last night. But talkSPORT's Stuart Pearce isn't convinced by Tuchel's idea.
You would think that Rashford or Bowen can play down the middle. They're more of a natural fit in my eyes than playing Foden there. You know, make no mistake, him and the coaching staff would have talked about all conundrums.
And the under-pressure Ollie Pope strengthened his grip on the England number 3 spot ahead of the Ashes. He hit a century in England's warm-up game against the Lions. There's more Ashes build-up on talkSPORT's cricket YouTube channel.
Of the week on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Proudly behind the trades that work so hard for the nation. Next stop, Toolstation.
talkSPORT clips of the week.
Yes, clips of the week time with Toolstation. We have 11 for you today. Andy, why don't you get us underway?
Yes, I'd love to. And we kick off today with Alan Brazil talking boxing.
Joshua's never far away from the news, and YouTube boxer Jake Paul has emerged as a shock candidate for his next fight. Chairman of Maxim Boxroom.
Yeah, I don't think very small venues.
I don't think Eddie Earn's in the box room. I'd be very, very surprised when you that that isn't the case anymore. Barry's obviously given him a pretty decent sized room. He's quite a big lad now, so box room boxing would be just have the one box. You wouldn't be able to get anybody else in there, would you? Let's get some surprise football news now with Uma Gurev.
Elsewhere today, we understand Southampton are seriously considering appointing interim boss Tonda Eka as their new interim boss.
Wow.
How's that work?
He's just keeping the same job, isn't he? When they're ever going to take somebody on full time, it's probably easier, isn't it? Don't get so disappointed.
Now, this was a caller to Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara on the Sports Bar, who we thought was pushing his luck a bit.
Definitely.
The reason why I reckon Tottenham are doing bad is because, and I can understand why Daniel Levy.
You've been placed on hold. Please wait.
It's not very nice, is it?
You got a fair point there, Jason. Fella puts you on hold, phones you and puts you on hold. This is Sam Matterface talking Scottish football.
Hearts take on Dundee United at 3 o'clock in the Scottish Premiership. Second place Celtic take on Celtic at 4.
Yeah, that's it. Celtic v Celtic, or the same firm derby, as it's known up in Scotland. The same firm derby is always a great game. Yeah.
Alan Brazil's back with another of his occasional interjections into the news headlines.
There's some good news on the pothole front. The RAC says road surface treatments to prevent cracks are up 15% this year.
Just love it when Alan just sort of editorialises on the news. No one's asking him to do it. He just can't help himself. He's like shouting at the radio if he was at home.
It's true.
And here he is again, this time not even letting the newsreader start the headlines.
Right, let's catch up the headlines with Nick.
Morning, Ali. Thank you. Rhys James.
Ali?
Did I say Ali?
Yeah.
Alan. Al? How about Al?
Alan.
I love the idea that Alan getting annoyed with somebody for making him a slip.
Yeah.
Like you've never done
He's
that.
got some front. Got some front, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Time now for the talkSPORT caller of the week to drive.
Can I ask, do you think, Ryan, you're in the minority or majority of Liverpool fans?
Yes.
talkSPORT caller of the week.
Very
Caller of
helpful,
the week,
wasn't
yes.
it?
An either or question and yes.
It's ridiculous.
Yes. Is it me?
No, it's me.
Go on then.
It was travel reporter Russell Holding who seemed to be pinning the blame for some late ferries on an unlikely person.
Yeah.
M3 in Hampshire's partly blocked northbound by an accident between junctions 6 and 5 from Basingstoke to Hook. And Stena Line sailings between Fishguard and Rosslare are cancelled because of poor weather.
Because of poor weather?
What's he got to do with it?
Can't be. Of the Jam and the Star Council.
That's the one, yeah.
He's making the Liskeard ferry late, is he? You do something to me. Yeah, you make me late for work on the ferry. Back to the sports bar with a highbrow quiz.
Can you name me? This is quite an intellectual one here. Just 3 Shakespeare plays.
I got 21 seconds to go.
Romeo and Juliet. Yeah, that's one.
I wish my wife was here now.
Okay. Maybe you should listen to her more, then you'll... Come on, mate. You can't name one.
Shakespeare. Who's the little boy that had a dodgy leg?
That's right, yes. Now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by the little boy with the dodgy leg. I thought, well, maybe he was thinking of Richard III because he had a dodgy leg.
Oh, yeah.
But he wasn't. He was thinking of Tiny Tim from A Christmas Carol.
Oh, brilliant.
So, yeah. Anyway, let's join the king at Carmarthen Castle now with newsreader Amelia Beltrao. At least we think it's Carmarthen Castle.
Charles is in Wales with the Queen, where he'll be attending a reception at Cyfarthfa Castle near Merthyr Tydfil.
Cyfarthfa Castle? Fetch your cloth, Granville. There we are, it's one for the kids. And finally...
This is good. It's this week's Carry On Talk Sport, featuring top jump jockey Nico de Boinville.
I've just packed off the kids to school, but every other day we'll be riding out, and I'm just about to head out the door to head to Bangor.
Just a matron. Kenneth Williams would have been proud of that one, wouldn't he?
He would.
We should thank Jack Caton, Toby Arnett, Torbay, Mark Wilson, David Clark. He had two clips today, David. Well done.
Well done.
Elmo from Putney. Justin a bad mood. It's not right, is it? Crackers are all mate crackers for the Nico de Boinville one. Brilliantly, thank you. Zoggy the Gooner, he had 2 as well.
Well,
good spotting. And our own Andrew McKenna, who brought us one as well. So, if you hear a clip on TalkSport over the next week, please do send in to us. Just need a day and a time when you heard the clip go out. We'll have a listen back, and if it's played like those guys, you'll get a credit to talksport.com/H&J. You can text it to 81089. You can tweet it to TSH&J. That's TSHANDJ. And we've got a podcast of the clips of the week in about 15-20 minutes time. You can download that or subscribe and listen at your leisure to all of those clips and lots and lots of previous clips as well. The H&J Daily will be up at the same time, which is our Best Bits podcast we do every day. If you've missed any of the show, you missed some very good stuff today. We've had some really good guests, including a man joining us for the first time, a very funny man called Shane Todd. We had a chat with him.
Yeah, he was good.
We brought you an uplifting tale of the man who supplies pasties, pies, etc. to Liverpool. He had quite the backstory. Andy, we discovered, looks a bit like Mike Gatting, so we got some of that business going on. And Sam Delaney told us what it was like to spend a day as Erling Haaland. So that's just some of the stuff in the podcast today, which is available wherever you get your podcasts. So we're going to head over to the York Hall Bethnal Green, ahead of the big fight tomorrow night, and we're going to be bringing you that, of course. So, yes, our very own Spencer Oliver joins us. All the details of the weigh-in. There is a more ceremonial weigh-in coming up a little bit later on this evening, which is why Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent are coming live from the York Hall from 4 today on Drive. We're here, of course, with our good friends at Toolstation. You can check out Toolstation's unmissable deals, great offers on hundreds of trade brands. Next stop, Toolstation.
Clips of the week on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Proudly behind the trades that work so hard for the nation. Next stop, Toolstation.
talkSPORT.
Let's get ready to rumble! This is insane! Never seen anything like this!
The winner by unanimous decision, Chris Eubank!
This is a moment in time that we will never forget.
And the final scene absolutely delivered. We'll catch you next time.
Big Fight Preview, Eubank Jr. versus Ben 2 on talkSPORT with DAZN. Watch the unmissable rematch live this Saturday, only on DAZN.
I'm neither mind nor thought. I cannot be heard or cast into thought, nor by sight or smell ever caught. In light and wind I am not found, nor yet in earth and sky. Consciousness and joy incarnate, bliss of the blissful am I. The purpose of it is always that we are entertaining the public.
He's here! Both guys here! Going for it! So hard!
I have nothing to say to Nigel. I find the man intolerable in that he's so wild.
All I wanted to do was rip his head off.
After an atmosphere and a contest like this, they surely have to do it again.
What did my son want to do? Rip his head off.
Sympathy, then his toenail sympathy, the ambulance sympathy.
One of the toenails on my big toe fell off.
When is he going to understand? Nobody cares.
These rivalries do tend when they share their souls in the ring for our entertainment.
Never seen anything like this!
The souls and the spirits entwined forever.
Yes, tomorrow night, Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn meet again. Highly anticipated rematch. Going to look ahead to the big fight now with DAZN. We had the pre-fight press conference yesterday, and Chris Eubank Sr. responded to Nigel Benn's claims on talkSPORT this week that Chris was paid to attend the first fight.
Paid? You can't buy me. I don't work that way.
But were you paid?
You were paid. So hold on. So Simon has come in there, and he's actually now he wants to press the point. I was not paid a penny, and I didn't take a penny. I was offered money. I would never take a money. You know why? You know why? Because integrity doesn't work that way. That's why I'm done, Gorgon. That's why I am trusted. That's why I am loved. Why? Because I am true.
Oh, there you go.
There we are.
Great to hear Terry Alderton. He's impersonation.
Yeah, he does them both brilliantly,
Honestly,
doesn't he?
brilliant.
I could never tell whether that was Terry or them. And then, of course, they had a bit of a ding-dong at the press conference, but that was what he said to Jim and Simon the other day. Gareth A. Davis joins us from the York Hall now, Bethnal Green. Hi, Gareth.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you?
Good, thanks.
So much about the dads. You wonder why they don't get in the ring after them.
Well, like on the undercard.
Yeah, a good 3-rounder or something. That
Yeah, maybe an
fun.
exhibition. No Rolls Royce for Conor Benn this time because Chris Eubank Jr. has made the weight. No fine money to go out and spend on a nice car.
$500,000 look for that last fight 7 months ago he got himself a lovely little Rolls Royce that he's pressed home to Chris all the way through this week. Yeah, the weights are in. Conor Benn 159.4 under the 160-pound weight limit for middleweight, and Chris Eubank remarkably 159.1. Even lighter than Conor Benn. That doesn't augur well for Conor Benn, in my view, because it means Chris has got almost 11 pounds to put on before they weigh in again tomorrow morning with that rehydration clause with the limit of 170.
So as we get closer to it, Gareth, how are you seeing this fight? During the week, we spoke to a number of people, and just a bit of a feeling that this could be Conor Benn's night. How do you see it?
Well, it might be Conor Benn's night. I don't really see it that way. I still see Chris Eubank Jr. as a big favourite to win on points. 8 rounds to 4 last time. 7 of the rounds the 3 judges agreed on, by the way, and 6 of those to Eubank, 1 of them to Conor Benn, 5 swing rounds. All comes down to strategy this time. I think Chris Eubank probably will try and not be drawn into a war early on and will outbox behind his jab or try to box behind his jab. And I think Conor Benn will start a little slower but try and come hard in the middle rounds and hope that he can assert some aggression, tenacity and authority as the fight goes on. If that first fight took a lot out of Chris Eubank Jr., as we know it did, but whether that effect is lasting or not, we don't know. I think it's still Chris Eubank on points, but if Conor Benn does win, it'll be the greatest victory of his career. He's stepping up a whole stone in weight, 2 weight divisions, to fight a guy who has fought at a higher level than him, so it's a very big ask.
Yeah, he put up a great show last time, though.
Yeah.
So you must give him a chance.
And that was, I mean, they just stood there and traded. It was just a nuts fight, and you're not they've kind of learnt too much. You think they'll approach it in a different way. Although in the moment, you never know in boxing, do you, Gareth?
Never say never in boxing. That's why you can't write off a Conor Benn victory, and his tenacity and his desire and all those things that go with it. But a good bigger normally beats a good little, and when they're at similar levels. For me, Eubank will change the plan this time. Conor Benn made the fight by really bringing it last time from the opening bell, fighting in an emotional way. He's been emotionless this week, as has his father Nigel Benn rather, in the face of any goading from Chris Eubank Jr. and Chris Eubank Sr. You saw even Eddie Hearn at the press conference yesterday doing the Love Actually cards, not speaking during the press conference. They didn't give the Eubanks anything to feed off yesterday, which I thought was a great game plan, but I don't think we'll get any different result tomorrow night. I think it'll be Eubank on points once more.
The other big boxing story of the day, Gareth, involves Joseph Parker, who we saw fight Fabio Wardley last month. He has tested positive for cocaine. We await the B sample for complete confirmation, but this is not good for Joseph Parker, is it? It's. I mean, what do you make of it? You know the guy pretty well.
If you say to me, make a list of boxers you'd think would test positive for that particular drug, he'd not be on my top 100. So it seems very out of character. It's very strange. It's very weird. Cocaine stays in the system, even though it's not considered performance-enhancing drug. In competition rules, in the WADA rules state and the VADA rules state that you cannot take that drug recreationally going in to a professional fight. It's very out of character if he has. It's a very bizarre thing. I've spoken to some of his team behind the scenes, not the ones in New Zealand, because they're 13 hours ahead, and they think it's just bizarre. It doesn't make a lot of sense. His wife and some of his kids were here as well for that event, so it's a peculiar thing, and to have tested on the day of the fight for whether it be traces, we don't know the detail yet, whether it's traces or whether it's a full-blown sample, if you like, is very, very bizarre. It's very hard to comment any further than that right now, other than I've known Joseph a very long time. For me, it seems out of character, but if it is the case and they do the B sample and it all comes through, he's probably going to be facing a hefty 2-year ban, which is no good at the age of 33.
Absolutely.
And when you think he went into that on that Saturday night as the number 2 heavyweight in the world with the prospect of fighting Alexander Usyk had he beaten Fabio Wardley. So to be taking that kind of drug in fight week does not make any sense whatsoever.
Absolutely. Yeah. Gareth, we'll hear from you later, and we'll certainly hear from you tomorrow night. Thanks very much.
Cheers, gents.
There we are. It's Gareth A. Davis, part of our top team, bringing you the big fight. So that was us looking ahead to Eubank Jr. versus Ben 2 with DAZN. You can watch the unmissable rematch from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium live on DAZN tomorrow night. We're going to bring you the fight on talkSPORT, as we said, with Dave Allen joining our expert boxing team, along with Gareth and John Rawling and Adam Cattrall and Spencer Oliver. And you can watch along with us on the night on the talkSPORT.
Watch along's great, especially if you go in between rounds, if you watch it on the...
Yeah, the watch-alongs are good. You can do that on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. That's Eubank Ben 2, tomorrow from 7 p.m. on talkSPORT, or watch live on DAZN.
Big fight preview, Eubank Jr. versus Ben 2 on talkSPORT with DAZN. Watch the unmissable rematch live this Saturday, only on DAZN.
That is us. We will see you on Monday to reflect on all the internationals at the weekend, including England-Albania, which is live on talkSPORT, and the big fight, of course. Talking of the big fight, coming up next, live from the York Hall, it is Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent with Drive. Have a good weekend.